Hello, everybody. Welcome to Dominate Premade Quarterfinals today on Sunday. We've got an amazing best of three between EOD versus the University of joined today by Josie. How are you today, man?
I'm doing all right. I'm happy to be back casting and waiting to see what these two teams are going to bring to the table for us.
Yeah, and we were running through the pro draft. So coming in, Weeb Edition, they've already, Wyoming, they've got the blue side and they've got rid of the rec side, which is a pretty powerful pick, all things considered. But still waiting to see where things like Silas, Aatrox, even stuff like the Yumi are going to land on the ban phase.
Yeah, and on the red side, Weeb Edition does ban Fiddlesticks, which is kind of must be a targeted ban of some sort for either the jungler or the support, because overall, we're not really seeing Fiddlesticks in the meta right now, but in the right hands, he can be very detrimental.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely can take some teams off, and especially a first game in a best-of-3 series. Any kind of wins you can... a win's a win, right? So being able to, at least get the first one, maybe you shock the opponent. They're not really expecting it. And for Weeb Edition, however, they're going to continue going a little bit more into that support pool. Nautilus has been very, very strong, both mid and support, so glad to see that that's off the table. On the other side, Nami being taken away from King's Land, really important pick for the support lane.
Yeah, that's another target at King's Land, and him being a support player, or the Enchanter support player, and she is a very strong buffing champion. Anytime you have a strong AD carry player, that's something Nami is very good at accentuating that, and so it's probably a safe ban to keep away from them. And they also do ban the Caitlyn, so they don't want to deal with the sieging potential on the side of Weeb Edition. But I haven't seen much Caitlyn lately.
Yeah, I mean, Caitlyn has been seeing a little bit of play with Lux as the support. We see it a lot, specifically in the NALCS, but already for University of Wyoming, I think it's very interesting that a lot of these very strong power picks, like Yumi, coming in for Weeb Edition on the first pick, and things like Silas are still not being banned away, and Aatrox, I think, is horrendously overpowered right now, and can be a strong flex in jungle and top lane.
Yeah, it's a very safe blind pick right now. They do get over the Yumi without banning it, who, now that people are starting to figure out the champion, Yumi can be really strong for a lot of people, and they do pair it with the Sivir, so that does look like it's going to be a very powerful bot lane. Wyoming's going to have to do some extra work or give it some extra attention to make sure that Yumi can't get rolling.
Yeah, for sure. And when you have the Sivir with it, like you were saying, it just becomes all kinds of problems. You have great movement ability, both with the final chapter as well as just the amount of heals that Yumi can provide. And Sivir provides some really great poke in lane when you have stuff like the Boomerang Blade and the Ricochet. So glad to see that is a kind of powerful bot lane already being taken away. So on the other side, however, University of Wyoming, they've got their Aloe start. They're going to be picking up the Kaisa here, which I think is a quite beautiful matchup for them. It allows them to still have those plasma, gives them a great late game scaling versus something like the Sivir, and great engage in the lane versus kind of the duo in the bot lane for Weeb Edition that is going to be lacking a lot of mobility.
Yeah, and like as you mentioned there, that plasma is gonna make a big difference. Like Kaisa can follow up on both Aatrox or Alistar engages, and that is something that does counter Yumi's presence in the game. Is the moment she pops out or she extends a little over too far, you just full engage on him. She's the lowest HP in the game, some of the lowest defenses in the game, so she can just get deleted just by an Alistar combo if Kaisa can get there in time as well. But we are gonna see the Hecarim, so this is a kind of a really big run at you comp coming out of Weeb Edition so far.
Yeah, so far, I mean, we've got great amounts of engage, a lot of it based on the movement speed, obviously, but coming into this ban phase, we're seeing some pretty interesting picks. It feels like a lot of these, we were talking about this a little bit earlier, but it was kind of felt like bans that were kind of nothing bans almost. We have the Zillion and the LeBlanc. Zillion is both of these are very powerful mid laners, and the Cassidy as well as the Corki now for University of Wyoming, I think are obviously great picks, but nothing that we're seeing too much of in professional play. It's obviously a lot more Akali, Silas, those kinds of things. So I'm interested to see Silas is still on the table. Weeb Edition could go for it. Has a great matchup both into Aatrox and generally into most things mid lane. So I'm interested to see what really comes out of this draft now that we have a lot of the very highly rated champions still on the table here.
Yeah, and as you say, that Silas does get locked into place by Weeb Edition there, so that's a very strong power picking. There are some decent ultimates to be taken away on the side of Wyoming so far. The Alistar ult alone for Silas is really strong. You can just pop that in and stay in the middle of the fight for as long as you want to. The Cataclysm coming in now for Jarvan, that's definitely a very safe jungle pick that's good for defenses. You can go tanky, you can go damage, you can do whatever your team needs to on the side of Wyoming. So both teams are setting up some nice wombo comps on each side. Both teams just want to press R right now.
For sure. I'm pretty sure one team probably wants to press FF at this point, but yeah, with Jarvan, super strong jungler, right below someone like Rek'Sai, who's now been taken off the table, did obviously see a little bit of a hit in terms of power thanks to the scuttle changes a while back, but I mean, still a super strong jungler. The Cataclysm, like you're saying, obviously so important. And with the Silas, has a lot of great ultimates. I will say is going to have a little bit of a tougher time trying to get those plasma stacks off so you can maybe use the Killer Instinct, or if you want to use the Alistar to break some of that CC as well as gain some resistance, I think it'd be really good for someone like the Silas. We're going to have to see what kind of summoners and for what keystone he goes to, because that becomes very important. We see stuff like the Conqueror, Arcane, Comet, Electrocute, things like that really do show a lot of variety in the champion pool for him. But interested to see what happens as we are going to head into game. This is EOD Weeb Edition versus University of Wyoming. Interesting to know. I mean, Yuumi does have some different summoners here, or sorry, different keystones here. I mean, we have the Summon Airy alongside Precision, which I'm going to assume is probably Presence of Mind alongside Cut Down, as you do get a lot of champions are going to have higher max HP than you, so taking the Cut Down allows you to have a little bit more damage, as well as, I mean, the Summon Area does give you a little bit of shielding. Sometimes we do tend to see the Arcane Comet for that poke lane, and I think it's going to be very important to see the first 15 or so minutes coming out from this Sivir Yuumi lane. It does have the TP, but Kai'Sa and Alistar are going to have a really hard time trying to deal with the amount of poke that this champion can put out.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. But you mentioned there, it's a bit strange not to take the Guardian. It is a very good protection against the all-in that they're going to look for, but it doesn't give you the offensive power. And so we'll have to see how they play this bot lane. I feel like there's going to be a lot of focus coming out of the bot lane with both having a Jarvan and a Hecarim. Both these champions are really good at ganking the bot lane area. So we are loading onto the Rift here in just a few moments to see how both teams do want to start off with their composition, or see how they want to play to their win conditions.
Yeah, I want to see where, if we do see some level 1 cheeses, that's typically what happens. We do tend to see that, in the first game of a series, teams do like to come out, start to play a little bit more aggressive. We already see the full stack here from University of Wyoming, and they have some pretty good level 1s. If you use the Light Binding, if you have something like Kai'Sa on the level 1, especially with a Jarvan or an Aatrox and an Alistar, it becomes very difficult, and they should be able to see them. And I like this coming out from Proper Francesco. They know that the Lux is pushing up, so we do see no one sitting in that bush, but Yuumi is isolated, and she shouldn't be able to see anyone head into the bush.
Yeah, they are going in there. She hasn't quite seen them yet. Oh, they do just now see them now. They're spamming the pings. So this invade is not going to be successful. I don't think they realize they've been spotted yet, though.
Yeah, they were able to get a couple of early wards, but I think King's Land was able to just barely see Papa Francesco pop into that bush. So I had an idea of where they are, and now we'll see them on the return exit here. But seeing a couple of these wards, I think it is a little bit ill-opportune. They did change some of the ward duration time, so that blue buff ward, unless Witchell decides to go for an instant clear on red and immediately move over to blue, which I think is very unlikely, most of these wards won't actually see the enemy jungler. We'll have to see kind of where the results are. I think the one that's most likely going to see is going to be the one onto Zohair in that bot side brush in blue.
Yeah, that's very correct. But one thing I do want to start is we always see Jarvan's coming straight to the bot lane for the level 2 gank. I wonder if he's actually going to be able to get anything with this, because this is kind of thing. Yuumi doesn't have her. She does start with a W, I believe, automatically. So here they are going in. They are burning 2 flashes here to go, and then they're going to pop the Ignite on the Sivir. Oh, Double B is just barely going to survive. So that does burn 3 summoners on the side of Wyoming, and only 2 on the side of Weeb Edition. So that actually works out pretty decently for them.
Yeah, Thankfully, Weeb Edition, they are able to have the TP into this lane, so they'll just come right back. Witchell coming out with a flash. Obviously, he's there to try to predict Double B and Kingsland from flashing forward and still trying to hit that knock-up. But I love this coming out from University, immediately taking away a lot of the mobility away from the Sivir. So if Alistar and Kai'Sa go in within the next 4 minutes, or we see another repeat gank, it's going to be very spicy. And something to note here is I love this on the side of Weeb Edition. Yes, they are able to force a couple of summoners out right there, but we see immediately the vertical jungling. I would like to see Zohair kind of spend a little bit more time in there, considering he does have the Ignite and he is going to have a summoner advantage when it comes to that jungle 1v1. But he's going to just go clear his top side and then immediately go for those Krugs. So thankfully right now we're going to see Witchell with a little bit more of an advantage as he has his entire jungle now to take alongside a Scuttle.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Zohair did not clear out the wolves or the Grump on the side of the blue side, so he's not going to get that extra bit of XP that Witchell is getting. It looks like Witchell's looking to get something in the mid lane as well. Oh, but he's going to back off. He just decided he's going to go against it right now. It is really hard to gank a Vlad at level 3, so maybe that's why he's deciding against it right now. Just maybe he wants to try and keep farming up as much as possible. But Zohair is starting to eye this top lane a little bit. Actually, it looks like he is about to go in. They're pinging to go in at this point. Rosero's got baited into the fight. It does flash away just in time. Gets stunned up by Hubris, and he gets ignited. And I don't think he's going to have that one. It does his first blood over to Hubris.
Yep, great job. Zohair does have to blow the Ignite, but a kill right there just to get the first blood. Like this positioning from Mom.
And a bot lane Mom, yeah, that's a good one. But oh, they almost burst him out with the Kai'Sa buff, and then here Muame is about to go down the mid lane as well. It did have to burn his flash, so there's some really aggressive play going on early on.
Yeah, great job right there. I mean, we're seeing University of Wyoming. They did have to obviously blow a couple of summoners, but they are getting put on the back foot here. And for the side of EOD Weeb, they're doing great for themselves, really just trying to pressure into that mid lane and that top side specifically. Aatrox now with no flash and specifically without the World Ender. Really becomes obviously problematic. We're pre-6 here, so not going to have any kind of extra movement speed to try and escape this. And for a Sylas to get ahead early, if you're able to get stuff like the Cataclysm or the World Ender, becomes very dangerous for someone like Aatrox to try and step up.
Yeah, he is very happy with that. But meanwhile, that's going on top lane. In the bot lane, Palmgo has almost double CS and double B. I mean, meanwhile, there is a big CS wave coming in here. But one thing I actually want to point out that I forgot to mention during the draft is as far as Alistar versus Sivir. Oh, actually, in the top lane, the two are going at it.
That's a lot of minions.
Yeah, that's a lot of minions, but they are trading even. Aatrox does have that sustain, so they are going to come out just about even on their side. So they are still going at it. But going back to the bot lane, is Alistar is actually a super strong counter for Sivir because you can't spell shield a combo. Yeah. But they're not done at the top lane. Oh my goodness. Hubris has got the better of him and pushes Rosero back to his tower to very low HP.
Yeah, like you're saying, you can't spell shield the combo. You can only spell shield one of them. We see a little bit of a tussle here, just trying to get some of the bells. Best Alistar skin in the game. But like you're saying, there was a huge wave. He is down still about 20 CS. Going to be more than likely around 15 with this wave that is just now coming in. But for the Sivir and nice abscond.
Geez, yeah, this is they're going at it here in this top lane.
It's the quote-unquote bruisers. I mean, Sylas is supposed to be a bruiser, ends up being a burst mage if you're an AD carry, sadly. But I mean, this is exactly what he can do. If you're able to get the Kingmaker or Kingslayer alongside the Abscond Abduct, you have great shield, you have great heal, and can really start to contest with both of these top laners taking Conqueror.
Oh, but as we say that, Witchell is starting to make his way up there. Meanwhile, in the bot fight, they're trying to fight as well, but Witchell's going to come up there. Silas is going to pop the Wild Ender that he just stole there and put double Wild Ender. But Hubris ends Rosero's world first.
Yeah, I mean, we get the World Ender right there, steals it away. I'm pretty sure there's still that bug on the Aatrox ult. If you steal it, does get the headbutt pulverize. Just trying to trade under turret, need to be careful with the amount of poke there. Just go for an even trade, but yeah, with that top side, you need to be very careful stealing the Aatrox ult. I don't know if they've cleared the bug yet, where if you use World Ender, it actually drains your entire mana pool instantaneously. Ooh. Yeah, it's very fun. Definitely not what you're expecting when you use the ultimate, and you do end up living. But that was just a lot of damage. He gets a Chain Lash. He immediately goes for the Abscond Abduct, and really Witchell just gets to watch his top laner die and waste a lot of time. He's able to now hold this wave, but finding more success. Hubris in the solo is doing absolutely amazing for himself. And so far, what we've seen in the meta is you see a lot of your bot lane doesn't necessarily need to lose, but they need to just be able to lose gracefully, make sure that they're not bleeding out heavily, and then you're able to transition some of their utility and their leads to your solo lanes who are already doing fantastically if you are on the side of Weeb Edition.
Yeah, and that's very correct. And as with the going on with the bot lane, as I kind of joked about during the NACLCS or maybe the EU LCS, they were talking about it's not about getting to Yumi's Win condition, it's just about when. So if they just play safe with the Sivir and the wave clear, eventually you're gonna start paying off for them. So when your top laner is just going 1v2 and completely beating up his opponent, that makes it so much easier to play to the bot side, especially because when Witchell had to spend time go up there, they don't get anything. Hubris gets another kill. Zohair now has almost a whole level lead. They are level 6 together right now, but it's just about a level lead in favor of Hecarim, who is just in time to come to the bot lane. He's zooming in there. Thought about going for it, but he could have ulted Alistar back into his team, but I guess he decided he just wants to be safe for right now.
Yeah, gotta be very careful. You don't know where the Jarvan is, and it is a little bit dangerous with an Alistar that does have Flash Ignite. There are double summoners here available for both bot laners, except for Kingsland. He's gonna be missing the Ignite or the exhaust, but yeah, he's able to just show up there. Does end up dissuading Mom Gank Please from going in and maybe going in for a little bit more aggressive style, but. Like you're saying, with Hubris winning, it allows for Zohair to really just open up this bot lane, completely shove out dominance. Take a look at how much vision is down there. They've got the lane ward. We see the TP coming in from Double B, but there's complete vision dominance when it comes to that bot side river. He's actually going to start soloing this Drake, which is a mountain. I think it's very good for him. Obviously, we're going to have to watch where Witchell ends up pathing. Does he go for that interrupt? And now that bot lane does have the TP, this should just be a free dragon going over.
Yeah, Witchell is making his way this direction, though. He's just going to drop that control ward. Knows he's not seen for the moment, but there is no vision in the dragon pit. If he throws the flag over, though, he'll be able to see it anyways. The control ward doesn't block that, but he's not going to check it, and the Mountain Drake is going to go over for free over to the side of Weeb Edition. That's a really nice Drake to have going for you. Meanwhile, on the bot lane, we do see a bunch of ults getting used here. The Yuumi snare is coming out. They are flashing away to Double B, but there's that combo we were talking about there. The Kai'Sa just flies right in on top of the Jarvan knockup, and they are able to get a kill for free.
It's like horsey Uber. He just comes in. Zohair comes on in with the old horses in the back, and
May is going deep, and he does have to burn his own flash. That was a bit committed.
Yeah, ends up kind of going for it. Does have the Hemo Plague, but he is not able to land the Tides of Blood nor the Crimson Rush there, only being able to use the pool. Not able to get too much out of that. Does have to blow his flash, like you were saying. Papa Francesco blows the barrier, so maybe a lot of that damage was mitigated, but now Zohair kind of has to sit here, and this was a double beat. This was Sivir coming off of a TP timing, so some of the worst here.
A King's I guess they forgot they were playing Yuumi and don't have flash. They were trying to pull the wave to keep it outside turret range, but yeah, Palm Goat just flashes in there, knows there's no way for Yuumi to get out of that one by herself, and so that is a dead kitty cat.
Yeah, I love that. Immediately goes for the flash. A Cathian Rain on top of the Prey Seeker. So that was a very clean combo coming out from Palm Goat, able to pick up himself another kill. And we actually see him go for the tier build on Kai'Sa, allows you to get the Cathian Rain upgrade a little bit sooner.
Witchell just beating up on the bot lane, takes Sivir back down to half health with the electrocute, just keeping as much pressure on Yuumi as possible. It is double CS now in favor of Palm Goat at this point, with 2 kills going as well. So
yeah,
in the top lane, Hubris and Rosera going out. The World Ender just getting popped, and we're actually going to have the other World Ender stolen on the side of Hubris. But he does not have enough sustain this time. He's going to get knocked up, but Zohair is here to back him up. Gets a knock up, and flashes the dunk, and Zohair's going to go 1v1 with Rosera at this point. He does not have the World Ender anymore. Is going to get ulted back into this team, and Rosero does go down, but man, that was close for a 1v1, but that's disappointing. That
was way too close. The Kingslayer from Hubris ended up healing up a lot, but sadly he could not go right back in, as obviously the Rift Herald has an incredibly long taunt range, so ended up kind of getting leashed all the way over there, but Rosero almost with the 1v2, almost able to find it. Nice engage.
Yeah, they're going for here, but he is going to be able to zip back to safety. That is one of the annoying parts of Yumi, is even though you do catch him, if they're close enough to an ally, you're not going to catch him, at least for now. But this is so much focus on the bot lane at this point. But as we say that, we do see Papa Francesco coming down here, getting answered by Zohair. The Zipper ult is going to get popped. Zohair almost gets taken out 1v1 in the jungle. Meanwhile, the Hecarim goes down to Kai'Sa. Another kill for the Kai'Sa, making a double kill. Here comes Muame, though. He's in the middle. He's going to pop his ult down right in the middle of them. So in that point, Hecarim gets a kill back. Oh, Pomgo just barely gets ulted over the wall to safety at that point. Papa Francisco is going to go slowed down by the Yumi, but I think he'll be able to get out as well. So that does end up being a 1 for 2 in the favor of Weeb Edition. Oh, they're still slowing Papa Francisco, trying to get the meat up in there, but not going to quite get it.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to get that. But yeah, that was a great trade for them right there. They're able to kill 2 members on the side of Weeb Edition. Just take a look at how far ahead Palm Goat is. I mean, this guy is up, a pretty sizable lead right here, 60 CS double. He's 3,000 gold ahead of Double B. And while I do like this tier build, allows you to get that Acathian Rain upgrade, the Q upgraded a little bit sooner. You are sacrificing some of that laning phase, but as we've seen, I don't think there's much of a laning phase here for Double B and a King's Land. Just completely being outclassed right there. And I love the roam from Papa Francesco just to try and get the priority over that bot lane if they did want to go with the gank from Witchell. They do not find maybe as much success as they maybe have wanted, but still. 2 kills for 1. You take that. Hubris taking a turret shot here.
Yeah, and as we say that, Rosero, despite being 0-3, is Hubris down in the 1v1. Doesn't even care. That is not a good sign. I was getting ready to say Hubris is going to be the one who has to carry the side of Weeb Edition, and he just got 1v1 by the 0-3 Aatrox going against him, who doesn't even have a completed item yet.
Hubris may have fallen trap to maybe his little namesake there, feeling a little bit hubris, maybe thinking, oh, I can outplay this guy, I've constantly gotten away, but the Aatrox is, he's getting more and more items. He already has the Merc Treads, which makes it very, very hard without any Sorcerer Pen, or without any magic penetration, to really do much, and we do see that the turret plates have fallen, but already, so far, although it was a little bit of a shaky early game, University of Wyoming is starting to pile on a lot of their leads. Bot lane has not gone any better, and top lane has just now kind of maybe have turned the corner in terms of the matchup here.
Actually, say Hubris is just getting up that first turret over to Rosero on the Aatrox, so that's going to be even more free gold. They are going to try and trade it for the Mountain Drake on the side, and he's going to pop that Lux ult just to get ready to steal another ult, most likely. But at the same time, Wyoming doesn't want to give this up for free. They're sneaking in here. They're not quite committed yet. Hubris is going to be in there just to tie up Witchell. So they are going to get themselves a second Mountain Drake, but that is more free gold going over to the Aatrox for the first turret, and a bunch of free CS to stay even farther ahead. Yep. So at this point, Hubris' lead is gone at this point. So you gotta wonder what their win condition is that they're looking for at this point. They might just be looking for that late game team fight.
Yeah, they've got great team fight potential on 3-4 items here. Silas and Hecarim are absolute terrors in the late game, especially with a Sivir to back them up. Can just do completely rip apart a team. I will say I'm a little bit worried. The Mountain Drake is nice and all as an objective, but the Mountain Drake only does damage when you're actually able to hit turrets. As well as maybe even do some objectives. We did see that top lane fight against Rosero, they weren't able to even get the they weren't, they may have lost that, but they had to reset on the Rift Herald, so still available for University of Wyoming if they are able to get that. And already we're seeing 2 turrets fall here. Like you were saying, the top lane lead for Hubris is gone. You've already given over the turret, and now we have to start watching, hey, where does this team roam to next? Because you have a lot of great mobility with a Kai'Sa who's able to just show up in whatever lane she wants to with that ult.
And as we talk about that, Witchell is just not giving up the pressure on the bot side. He just continues to make sure that this Yumi tries to stay down as long as possible, because, yeah, if this game does go on long enough, the combination of Yumi and Zohair might be able to actually do something here. But as for right now, they have a 5k gold lead in the favor of Wyoming already in 16 minutes. So that's when you have a hyper or a scaling comp with the Kai'Sa and the Lux who can start bursting them out for free from 100 to 0, and also the Aatrox scaling, it starts getting these late game team fights are gonna be pretty spicy.
Yeah, so far we've just seen kind of a continuation of some of their lead. Muame just getting the phase rush proc there. We do see Zohair is here.
Oh, Muhammad is about to get dunked on. He's going to be a flash out. Prime Francisco does get taken down by Zohair in the background. Wow, he's going to have to ult back out. Almost gets onto Pomgo as well. Pomgo is not able to take down Muhammad. And, oh, he flashes in, gets the Q out. Not quite able to finish it off the Yumi shield. Came in at the very last moment to keep Zohair and Muhammad alive. Meanwhile, the World Lander's coming in here. It gets eaten up by him.
Oh, no.
He does get the kill, so he's going to get the regen under the tower here. So at this point, Double B is probably going to be able to clean it up here. Oh, Rosero does get a dash over the wall, almost able to get a dunk back in to keep himself alive, but he does trade 1-for-1 at that point to get more gold for himself. But it does give a little gold over to Double B on this.
Yeah, for the side of University of Wyoming, that is very sloppy. You waste a lot of summoner spells as well as ultimates there just to try and get a kill onto 1 or 2 members of the side of EOD. We ended up seeing that, yes, Moame does go for a pretty dangerous position, but no one ends up focusing him, and we end up seeing him able to kind of slink out of that fight. Thankfully, Rosero is able to pick up the kill on the backside there, but what are you wasting there? We see the flash is now gone. We see the barrier as well, and all of the summoners for Pomgo are now in the drain for the next couple of minutes. So coming into the next couple team fights, I mean, we are cresting on 20 minutes. Rift Herald is still available, and this team for the Wyoming needs to be able to crack open this mid turret if they want to get any kind of priority onto these objectives that they've really not been able to touch.
Yeah, as of right now, Wyoming needs to continue to snowball the lead, and not because they actually just gave up a good little chunk of gold in that whole situation by giving over those 2 kills at that point. So, but with the team comp, the fact that we have a Sivir Yumi Hecarim combination going on here, it is up to Wyoming to press their advantage, get the towers, get the objectives. Kind of would have liked to have seen them go back for the Herald, but at this point, I don't think either team is going to get it. Zohair is making his way to that direction, so he might try and get it there at the very end. Oh, and actually, I was going to say that he is going to try and get that Herald at the last minute, but as we see that, Rosero's going down here, but we also see Winthrop dunk in here on top of them. The snares are coming out here. Does get turned around by the Yubi. Muame is going to stay alive. They get 2 kills back in a 2v4. Zohair's going to ult in, fear up Rosero. Rosero's not going to get the World Ender revive. And so that is a 3-for-0 when they pick the fight on the side of Wyoming. And so we're just now down to a 2k gold lead.
Yeah, and that was 1,000 gold given over to Double B. So this lead that was 3,000, almost double in terms of advantage, has now kind of slunk down back to 2,000. More than likely going to become a lot more even. And for Pomgo, I'm really not liking this itemization. Looking to go, it looks like either Triforce or going for that stinger into Nashor's Tooth. I really don't like that build. You already have the Lux who's able to do a lot of damage. Yes, you want to be able to be that flexible carry. Try to make sure that your damage sources are a little bit more diversified. But right now, I think you need to be worrying on being able to kill this, Zohair as well as Hubris right now, because Mohamed is able to just sit right in the back line. There's not a lot of healing reduction being cut down with grievous wounds. Only Rosero with the lone Executioner's Calling. You need to be able to start fighting for these objectives. This is an Infernal Drake, and now we see the entire team.
Oh, Hubris is going to get knocked up. They're going to take the fight again, but Yumi is in there trying to get everyone snared up. Hubris is not going down, only a half HP so far. He is still in the middle of that healing. The Ignite does come out onto him, but it's not enough to stop the healing. And that actually is going to be enough to deter them, and they get the Infernal Drake, which will have to flash out of the Dragon Pit. So we're getting to that point of the game where we were talking about Yumi. It's not a matter of how, it's when. Because at this point, Yumi's able to get the team alive, the snare's able to disengage or engage, whichever they prefer they need to. And they get, we saw Hubris take so much damage, but between his own sustain, the Conquer sustain, and the Yumi assist, he only went down to half HP despite tanking 4 or 5 people at one point.
Yeah, it's getting to a point where I need to start seeing a lot more healing reduction. There's no Morello Nomicon for the side of Papa Francesco. Palm Goat is still going with whatever build he has. It's just 850 gold. I promise you it'll be worth it in the long run. You've got a Yumi. You've got someone like this Vladimir. You need to start to get those grievous wounds and start applying them before this gets a little bit too out of hand. We're already starting to see Double B has gone to that 2 item mark. Palm Go being stuck on this Stinger, sitting on about 1,200 gold now. Looking to I really am hoping this is not an Asher's Tooth, but looking like he is going to go for the back here, so we're going to have to watch what he gets. But like you're saying, an absolutely great team fight there, and there's still a lot of sustain, not only on Hubris and because of the Yuumi. Take a look. I mean, we've got Conqueror with Spirit of Dread on top of the Hecarim, which is just going to make your healing that much more insane. And I mean, Vladimir as a champion is just, the name of the game is sustain, right? So
yeah,
I do want to see how Papa Francesco ends up working in these team fights, because so far has been an absolute non-factor.
Yeah, it's definitely not going any way that they were planning on right now. Another issue I'm having with on the side of Wyoming is look at Witchel's build. He is going for the lethality, damage, Jarvan. That is not what you need in this team comp. He needs to be able to dunk into there and stay alive long enough to buy Kai'Sa and the Lux time to get all their damage out. And also have Aatrox. They have 3 high damage sources. You don't need a 4th at this point. So when he went into Giant Dunk onto Muame earlier, he got blown up in 2 seconds, and that's going to continue to happen, especially because with the way he's building with the jungle item, he's most likely going to have to go the warrior build, because he's going to have to commit, or he's going to be just kind of stuck in this weird, I have a lot of HP but no defenses build, where it's not going to be much better. He's going to be doing nothing at that point.
I will say, if Witchel is able to get to this item and start fighting Zohair before this Triforce comes in, maybe he's able to impact these team fights a little bit more. But Zohair is almost there to his Infinity Edge. He's got his Phage. He's got the spell the Spell Blade alongside the dagger, so he's not that too far off. He's about maybe 700 gold, 700 gold for a Triforce at this point, maybe 1,000. So he's not that far off, and that means within the next 5 to 10 minutes, or 5 to 7, we're going to see Zohair with a Triforce, and Witchel's going to not have any kind of possibility to fight him. Yes, you have the Electrocute, but Conqueror, Spirit of Dread, alongside the Q, becomes really difficult to try and fight him. And now we're 23 minutes in. We've got the Baron available. Yes, there's 2 turrets, and no turrets have been taken, so it would be a pretty long take for the side of EOD. If they do get the Baron and they want to start sieging, they'd have a couple of things to take down before they start to really threaten the Nexus.
Zeros want to go into Muame, but we see where the Vladimir sustain is coming in, but Zohair does have in the top lane. Hubris got caught out with no any vision, got straight blown up by the combination of Witchel and Palmgo, so that is really good on their part. And after that last Dragon Part, that's when we were talking about it, we have seen 2 Executioner Blades come in here, so that's really good. And we do see Papa Francisco is working on getting the Morella Nomicon next. So in the red side jungle, they're just kind of playing around with each other, headbutting Zohair back in his own jungle, trying to keep as much vision control as possible here. It looks like they're toying with the idea of the Baron, or at least they're trying to make sure it's a double Mountain Drakes can't be utilized on the side of Weeb Edition.
Yeah, and like we were saying earlier, the double Mountain Drakes are only as good as you are able to actually hit the turrets and hit these objectives. Yes, the dragons are objectives, but where has your Rift Herald been? Where has your Baron take been? Where are your turrets? I mean, top lane's the one that's only really been damaged in any meaningful way, so the Mountain Drakes are nice. They're a nice farewell touch if you want to try to end out a game. They need to be able to actually siege, and for right now, this is finally the mid turret being taken. It only took about extra 12 minutes there to be able to open it up, but taking the first set of turrets here, the tier 1 turrets here for the side of Wyoming, maybe they're able to stabilize. It has not looked too good for them, other than that pick that we just saw onto Hubris. But with the Baron with the Baron up right now, 25.5 minutes in, we're gonna have to see some pretty interesting picks here, because right now the team fight for the side of EOD is incredibly strong.
Yeah, but actually, as we talk about that, the third Mountain Drake is appearing, but Weeb Edition does not seem to be wanting to set up for it right now. They prefer to get some vision control on Baron, but they don't actually commit to that. They get a little scared about not knowing where Wyoming's at, and they're back on their side. So while they have the team fight advantage, they're not really looking to make use of it right now. Zohair's actually off in the top side of the jungle while the rest of the team is posturing, and it's actually almost a 45. But as I say that, the Palmgo is able to solo out that Drake with as soon as powerful as he is. He can't delete that. He did go for the Nashers too, so I mean he does have the
he has all of his evolves at this point. So.
Yeah, he has the I mean the combination of Nashers Tooth is really strong, and he is 5-1, so maybe he knows something that we don't know. I think it's a questionable build, but maybe it's one of those things where he's so far ahead, it doesn't matter what he's built, that he just wants as much attack speed and to get that passive out to do as much damage as possible. But he was able to solo out that dragon for free there, so as this game kind of moves along, neither team's really playing to their wing condition right now. Wyoming's not looking for or anything like that. And on the side of Weeb Edition, we're not seeing them looking for the team fights that they've won already several times. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, though, Premade gets taken down so low. Has to flash away from Rosero. Rosero is happy just to kind of take that and walk away. Is looking to get the dunk back onto Premade. Almost takes him down. So both of them do have to flash and pop their ultimates. But meanwhile, we do see Pomgo get the pick onto Zohair at the Baron to get that vision control. So now they're playing through those picks that we were just talking about. But me and the bot, Hubris is looking to take down Rosero, is able to get it with the Jarvan Dunk and the Cataclysm. But with that going on, with their Mountain Drake, we do see the Baron's going to go down for free, uncontested.
Yeah, and when you have someone like the Kai'Sa who's able to just constantly put down plasma procs with her Rage Blade, with the amount of damage on AP as well, it becomes a nightmarish situation. A very fast Baron takes there. So the Baron in trade, they're able to grab or they give over the mid turret for this, and I like this coming out from the side of EOD. They just end up they say, hey, you know, we're probably not going to be able to invest for this. You already had 2 people show bot lane, and while you do have double TP, triple TP actually available for you, they just decide to trade for some objectives, and that's one of the ways you have to try and counteract this Baron. Push the waves out as far as you can so that they have to spend most of their Baron, or at least some of it, trying to push these waves back out into a better position. So already, Rosero, pretty far out. He does end up getting caught out, like you were saying, by the hijacked Cataclysm here on Hubris, but now they need to be able to actually close this out. We see this from Wyoming. The really strong build here from Pomgo, just trying to diversify their damage. They're going to need a little bit more AP before that Prey Seeker gets very, very scary alongside the Plasma, but you have Press Attack, still doing a lot of damage. You should be able to out-trade this Sivir. 70 CS up, man. This guy has so much more gold. I'm expecting big things from Pomgo, at least in this game, coming forward, but Baron now is just going to look to siege. They don't have great ways to interact.
Here it goes. The team fights coming in. We do see the Sivir Olga follows. Everyone's feeding in there. Double B does take down Lux on this side, but then we also see the Hecarim ult into the background. Doesn't quite get anybody quite yet. Witch was able to speed out of there with the Yomo's Ghost Blade. Zohair taking it out really low. We had the World Ender being popped in the background. He's going to get his revive, but Hubris comes in and blows up the Jarvan and almost takes down the Kai'Sa as well, who does get taken by the Sivir eventually, which then finally that is an ace inside of Weeb Edition, who's going to teleport to the top lane
and
with
double
2
TP.
teleports.
At double TP, they're going to look to try and at least do as much damage as possible. 20 seconds before Papa Francesco. They should be able to at least, this is a pretty massive wave that's been stacked up here. This should at least be the inhibitor for, at least the inhibitor turret inhibitor as well. But one of the big things in that last team fight was Pomgoat has to just go so far back, double summoners as well as the killer instinct, just to try and get away from Muame, and Zohair ends up basically in the river instead of mid lane. So has to play really far back, and no one is able to interact with the rest of EOD. We see that Rosero, he's trying to go for those kills, but they can't do anything. Witchel basically disappears, and Papa Francesco with Hubris on top of him as well as Double B and King's Land becomes absolutely, there's nothing for this Lux to be able to do, at least to interact with this team. So Pomgo, while most of this is on his shoulders, the rest of Wyoming need to actually play to protect this Kai'Sa.
Yeah, and that kind of comes down to the win conditions we were talking about earlier. Is as soon as they got a 5-on-5 team fight, the Yuumi, the Hecarim, the Silas, the Vladimir, the team, and especially on top of the Sivir ult, just speeding everybody onto the back line, you just blow them up. There's no way for them to 5v5 that. They have to look for these picks, and that was a Baroned up team with the Baron minion wave on top of them trying to get that tower, but they just lost it all. They got aced, so they lost all their buffs, and they actually lose 2 towers and the inhib for us. So pretty much all the gold was gained has been lost, and we're actually looking to get another fight here. Oh, but we almost see Zohair. He does get taken down finally. We do see the Captain get taken. You're going to look to dunk on the Witch, he's not able to get out of there, or he's going to flash out at the very end there. Does dodge and avoid the snake. Hubris is about to go low. Does get taken down by Marvin. Does get taken down by the Kai'Sa in trade. Hubris is sustaining him as much as he can. Pomgo is just shredding down everybody. The World Ender doesn't get popped out. And then also, but we see also got a beautiful double knockup onto the Yuumi Sivir combo. They are trying to sustain him. Oh, he gets a kill back though. Almost gets back 2 of them, but they are going to finish him off and get an ace in favor of Wyoming now.
Yep, great job right there. They found their picks. Papa Francesco just does all of Zohair's health and damage thanks to that final spark alongside the light binding. They should be that finally they're able to at least break open most of this. They should go for at least an inhibitor here with the Hecarim coming up. But like we saw there, Pomgo, no one is able to fight him. No one is able to immediately go on him. They're all trying to kill Witchell with all these resources being spent onto that.
Zohair could try and get Pomgo. Oh, he's got he had the ignite and able to deny the steal, so he's gonna trade 1 for 1.
She has a third ult.
Yeah, the Lux level 16 ult has no cooldown. Basically, I think it's down to like 30 seconds with the cooldown. Yeah, especially because it gets reset if you get the kill. Or what's it? The 50% the refund. But I mean, so you just trade 1 for 1. But also, Zohair just got a huge shutdown onto the Kai'Sa. 300 bonus goal on that, and they're actually probably trying to get the Drake. I mean, it is warded up there, and Witchell does have his smite up if he wants to go in and go for it. But that'd be a dangerous dragon to go in for.
Not only does Papa Francesco have 40% cooldown reduction, but also the go and
Witchell doesn't get it, and he actually able to get it back out. We only see Rosero stuck in the back, but he's trying to dunk them off. His team is just leaving him over the wall. He's doing it. Oh, and he may have failed to flash. He's gonna dash it out, and we do see Moame go back in there. He's not able to finish up the kill. He gets taken down by Rosero. Oof.
Moame, the Nia pings. I have to agree, man. What are you doing, man? Yes, you might be able to kill Rosero, but you're just gonna trade, and you're the one with TP up.
Literally, that moment when you flash over the wall and you just pause the screen is like, and at that moment he knew he messed up. Like he just
instantaneously flashes over, and there's
Zohair almost gets picked out again. Has to pop the has to E out of there to the Scuttle Crab, but at this point, like, Wyoming has a bunch of confidence back in them. They've been losing team fights. They have a 3K gold lead again at this point after all the team fights they've lost.
Yes, Zohair needs to be able to back here, does not have a lot of health. Hubris is not here, doesn't have the TP, so he has to come from bot lane back up to this top side. They're just going to try and fight for vision. See, Pomgo is coming back from base, and he has a lot more AP now in his item set. He does have the Banshees as well as the Zonias, giving him a little bit more survivability. This is a level 17 Silas, so we should start seeing a lot more. I'm just going to take a look at his build real quick. It's 40% cooldown reduction. He has gone the Unbreakable Will here, so he does have so much cooldown reduction.
Oh, but he should have popped it right there. Oh, he is able to get out just barely. Man, that was some brave decision on the part not to pop his ult and get away from that, but he's able to hang on to it for the moment.
But he doesn't have TP, and his Baron is available. However, they are able to see that the bot lane for Wyoming are just sitting topside, just clearing it constantly. The inhibitor is going to respawn soon, as we see that there's no super minions in the topside, which does mean that the inhibitor is going to respawn on this wave in a couple of seconds. So now we need to see how EOD are able to try and play this out, because so far what we've seen is just they're spending so much on other members of Wyoming.
Moame gets pulled back into the team. He's going to try and pop his ult and get that. Zero is huge. We do see Zohair ult in the background. Witchell staying alive, does dunk in the background to give his life away. But they do trade 1 kill for the junglers. But we do see 2 side going outside Wyoming. Rosero's in the back with the World Ender, sustaining up so much, able to get his life back with the World Ender revive. Moame goes back in. Oh, we do see Pomgo go over the wall, and he's gonna take that. Oh, the flash from Double B to get away. He does get resurrected with his Guardian Angel. Oh, but he is. Oh my goodness, the shields out of Yumi. He is keeping Double B alive. Double B still at 130 speed and gonna take him down. Papa Professor is stuck on the wrong side of dodge at this point. My goodness, what is going on this game? Oh, Double B is able to spell shield that. Expected to come up and able to finish up for an ace now. The third ace of the game. Second one in favor of the Weeb edition.
How did they win that? I mean, Pomgoat is just sitting there. And this is, again, both AD carries are just free-firing into the backside. We see Zohair immediately go. He uses ultimate. He tries to get the gank off, and he's just there to try and fight Rosero, but Pomgoat's just sitting there. Pomgoat and Papa Francesco are just sitting there. All right, I guess we just get to fire our abilities off for free. And
one thing, well, the way the one that fight there at the end was Pomgo used both his ult and his flash, and the moment he flashed into the bush, Double B had a beautiful flash over the wall to avoid both the Rosero damage on the Aatrox and the Kai'Sa damage, and so he just won that fight with a single flash at that point. But we do see both teams are coming for the Baron, but Witchell's on the wrong side. He tries to jump in there. He smite steals it. He takes it away from Wyoming. This game's not over yet.
How is this even possible, man? You've got the. Oh my god, it's getting absolutely ridiculous. This guy should not be able to get into that backline, especially with hubris right there, giving him a lot more CC. As soon as that happens, you have to be able to turn off the objective. And now with no Baron, it makes their siege again that much more difficult. They do have to deal with these mini waves, but thankfully with a Sivir, 4 items, has the GA. It's not available right now, but you do have a lot of siege. No one's able to hit these turrets. Rosero's pushing out bot wave. Top wave is pushing out in favor of University of Wyoming. And like you said, this game is not getting any closer. This is only game 1 of a best of 3 series, 37 minutes in. And we're having smite steals. We're having absolutely what looks like absolute throws at this point because teams should not be able to come back from this deficit. We see that right now, Double B. Look at this guy. He was down 70 CS. He was down 3,000, 2,000, however much gold. Both of these 80 carries are 12-3, 12-4 respectively. This is getting insane.
Dude, the players are actually going. Another person I want to call out real quick is Rosero. He started 2-6 at one point. He's now 6-8. He is trying to claw his way back into the game as well. But now we have the Elder Trick coming back up as well. So we're gonna have another 5v5. Everybody is spawned. The ults are ready. Some of the summer are still down. We still don't have a flash on Double B or Palmgo, and we don't have a flash on Papa Francisco either. That could be a big difference maker, but both teams are posturing up there. There are no inhibs down. There's nowhere else to go except to meet up here at this Elder Drake. And then we do see Witch will pick up the Guardian Angel now as well. He is done dying for free. Palmgo is stuck though. He walks in solo into Zohair into Bush Hiding Vision.
Oh my god.
It's Palmgo, you're your team's carry. You can't do that.
Oh, that should just be a free Elder Drake going over. This is going to be an enhanced...
Witchell, can you do it again? Witchell's looking
Miracles
for
only
it.
happen once. Come on.
Witchell gets it again! Witchell, you madman!
Oh, they say that lightning only strikes once in the same place, and Witchell makes the impossible happen. They're looking to try and get something. Oh, Rosero?
Rosero's able to get away as well, so they only lose. Palmgo had no business dying there, but they only lose Witchell to steal that back again to keep this nothing that Weeb Edition can do.
I have to agree with Palmgo. This man sells the Zonia, says, hey, I'm not using it anyway, and immediately just goes for the Rabadons here. Still has the boots. I would like to see that maybe go away instead of maybe selling a great utility item. But man, Witchell is just showing Zohair up so badly. Here we go.
Going in here trying to go to Papa Francisco, but the ults are missing all over the place. They are trying to get on the Rosero. Oh, it does get taken down finally here, but we do see the Moame goes down to Palmgo from the tower shot there at the end. So they're trading 1-for-1, but that was also a 4v5. So they're not. This is just absolute chaos at this point.
Though. Everyone's just hitting each other melee. What's the point?
I don't know. This is game 1, guys. We have at least another game to go at this point. And these teams are just going at it. You know, every single member of both teams right now is trying to be that hero. They're trying to make that big play to win it for their team. But it is just leading to some absolute shenanigans.
I'm so confused because there's so many objectives up, right? And that yes, you just lost that, but why aren't you utilizing the fact that you have triple TP on EOD? You can go and pressure for this top side free inhibitor, by the way, and you're just sitting here, you're stuck in that NA ARAM mode, right? You're just sitting there, just like, we gotta fight them, we gotta keep going down mid. Maybe if we kill them here, we're able to end the game. And while yes, they were able to get those TPs off that early team fight and start smashing down topside.
Rosero's teleporting in here. He's teleporting in, but they're not really positioning for this inhib. Now they are. They're trying to keep Palmgo alive just long enough to take this inhibitor. Oh, but meanwhile, Hubris has gotten back. He teleported to the back line. Oh, he's going for the flank. They're trying to get Hubris. He got zoned out in the back. They get taken down by Palmgo. And then also Papa Francisco gets a beautiful 3-man. Oh, meanwhile, they get taken out the Vladimir. They also, Zohair gets picked out by the AP Praise Seeker for a triple kill from Palmgo. They might look to end the game.
That is more than likely the end of the game right there. You only have Double B and a Kingsland, no summoners for the Yuumi. And unless Yuumi can hit a pretty insane, Double B's gonna have to be.
Oh, yeah, they get snared up. The Altar goes in there. They're gonna kill him. They get down with no one to keep her alive. The kitty wants to go home, and then Double B stuck on the wrong side of the 2 towers, goes down. There's nothing to stop Wyoming from winning game 1.
Man.
Oh my goodness, people. That was only game one. My throat is already smoked from that game. But man, both teams played hard. Wyoming did not give up after goofing up a few team fights and both, but props to Wyoming. Like, they had so many chances to tilt out of that game. Witchell with two beautiful smite steals to keep them in the game. Palmgo just popping off right fight. Rosero clawing back in from an awful start in the top lane, dying in a 2v1 to give away.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I don't want to take anything away from Wyoming. That was definitely a. It was less so maybe Wyoming winning that game and EOD just absolutely dropping the ball on that one. They missed both smites like you were saying. Just Sohair just absent that game. We saw him in the early game, but the Hecarim was just. It kind of felt like he may have taken a trip to the glue factory.
Yeah, that was just. Weeb Edition had so many chances to win that game. So, I mean, both teams did what they needed. Like, overall, Weeb Edition played to their team, their win condition, stuff like that. But when it came down to those crucial moments of when you have to do the thing that will actually seal the game for you, they didn't do it. And props over to Wyoming to take opportunity. Witchell just man moding twice in a row, back to back smite steals with the Baron. And then when they thought they had lost the Elder, that didn't stop Witchell. He's gonna go in there, and then they get out alive from the whole situation, and they just do a beautiful job keeping their minds about them. And yeah, they didn't get overwhelmed by the Yumi sustain or anything like that. The Sivir comp was, while it had its team fight potential, it just wasn't enough after the small little fumbles on the side of Weeb Edition.
Yeah, that was a really sloppy game from both teams, I won't lie. We are going to head to a little bit of a break here while we wait for this second game in the series after a very, very hard fought University of Wyoming victory here in game one. We're going to wait for game two here in a little bit. Don't go anywhere. Welcome. This is Dominate. This is Risen Dominate Premade, and we're going to be here for the between EOD Weeb Edition versus University of Wyoming. I'm Alk Battery again, joined by the wonderful Joe. God damn it, I messed this up. Josie. It's fine. But game 2 now. Game 1 was an absolute banger of a match. That's one way to put it. It was very, very interesting to say the least. But now we're heading into game 2. What are you looking for in the draft?
I just wanted to be as hype as last time. That's all I want.
Oh no. No. My brain was melting after that game. It was too many mistakes for my liking for both of these teams. This is why we have quarterfinals. However, best of 3. You just want to get out as many mistakes before you get into those very important semifinals and those finals if one of these teams decides to get through. But with a win already on the side of University of Wyoming, specifically the bot lane, for the side of Wyoming, Palm Goat and Mom Gang Please really just had complete dominance of this bot lane just from level 1 thanks to that gank from Witchell.
Yeah, we'll have to see if the teams look to do that again, just because both teams had like a good idea of their win conditions, even though they weren't always playing to it. Even though I was kind of criticizing that in the first game, but the way they were playing, they were playing to them at the start, at least before the game developed into pure chaos. Exactly as like you were mentioning there. Palm Goat had such a big lead thanks to Witchell early on that bot lane, but they just failed to capitalize on it enough to prevent Double B from getting back into there. And reversely on the top side, Hubris did an amazing job getting control of the top half of the map and getting that lane solo kill, even getting a kill in a 1v2 and getting out alive. But Rosero did the exact same thing as Double B and just clawed his way back into the game and helped impact his team a lot. So the game's wide open. This game 2 could go either which way. Both teams should have perfectly good mental going into it. Even though the first game, Weeb Edition did lose that first game, they have nothing to be ashamed of in that first game. Maybe just got to clean up some of their team calls or a little bit. Not even the team call. They just got to make sure they do the team call correctly, and they could have won that. So, but they are taking the Aatrox first inside of Hubris this time. So we do see they get first picked again for the top lane.
Yeah, and we saw from last game with Wyoming on blue side, they said, hey, we don't have the Yuumi ban this time. They are going to try and just get rid of it this time now that they are on the red side. Now that the Aatrox is already taken away, Wyoming saying, hey, we have the advantage. We have the red side. We're going to pick on the opposite. And now we actually see that the Sivir and the Hecarim, please don't tell me that they're just going to end up switching sides for this, that they're just going to switch up team comps. They said, hey, you want the Alistar Kai'Sa bot lane? Here you go, Weeb Edition. You can play it. And that would be the ultimate flex if you are University. Just give them the team composition that they used to have. But it looks like the Ezreal is going to be kind of hovered here. And it looks like Ezreal is going to be the pick here. I don't really know if I like this pick. There's still stuff like Kai'Sa. Xayah made it through the bans in that first draft. And I think that those are both champions that are still a lot more powerful than Ezreal and offer you at least a little bit more in terms of laning.
Yeah, we do see the Lux get taken alongside that Ezreal as well, so we have to see if that's going to be the support or the mid lane Lux. But this time around, we do know it's not going to be a pure exact copy on the side of red side, because we do see that the cat, Yuumi, has been banned on that side, so we don't have to worry about that coming through again. I'm going to guess Wyoming was a little bit tilted. Even though they won, there were a lot of times Yuumi just kind of ruined their team fights or their planning, so they got rid of that. We do see the Jax getting locked in against the Aatrox. Does that go in favor of the Aatrox? I think it would.
The Jax Aatrox matchup is a little bit tricky. Obviously, if Aatrox is able to land all 3 sweep points on the Darken Blade, then yeah, Jax kind of has a terrible time in that matchup. But with Counter-Strike alongside the Grandmaster's Might and maybe something like the Spear of Shojin or just by itself Triforce, Jax does have a pretty decent time trying to fight the Aatrox, and Aatrox does have stuff to worry about, especially with Leap Strike and the Empowered W. Does become a little bit of a problem depending on how they're able to play it out. And I mean, considering what we saw last time, yes, Hubris was able to get an early advantage, but Rosero was doing pretty good for himself once he's able to get at least half of an item, especially on that Phage and the Kindle Gem early on. So we're going to have to watch how it kind of falls through now that we're through the second ban phase. No Sylas allowed this time. Zillion still on the table. Sejuani is taken away, which I think is really interesting, something that we don't typically tend to see. Sejuani, while it is popular, there are still a couple of other picks, specifically Jarvan still on the table, that can really do a number. And it looks like they're going to end up trading this, Wyoming going for that Morgana, which I absolutely love against this team already. And for Weeb Edition, closing out their pick ban with Kayn and Cassiopeia in the second round.
We're just going full like edgelord. The Weeb Edition is going with the Weeb picks, getting Ezreal, getting Aatrox, they're getting Kayn. They're going.
You get the Lux. I mean,
yeah, they're going all out with their name here. They're just going like, you know what, we're gonna make a name for ourselves. But yeah, so that means it is gonna be a support Lux most likely, unless something very strange is coming out here. So that can be Cassio at mid lane, and we see the Anivia get taken to counter that. So this is gonna be a very don't touch me in mid lane.
Yeah.
Two mid laners who aren't going to touch each other.
I mean, Weeb Edition, EOD have one of the safest bot lanes right now. Obviously, Ezreal Braum is something we tend to see a little bit more, but Lux with her Aftershock on top of that W shield is, oh my god, it is really infuriating to play against. She has great base damages, especially with Final Spark and with her Light Binding. But the shield, once you get double procs on that, you're able to get the Athenes, you're able to get stuff like the Ardent as well. It becomes very, very difficult for someone, for really anybody to try to interact because those shields are massive. You have the Aftershock as well, so even trying to dive her becomes quite an issue. So coming into this game, I mean, Ezreal's going to be poking, Lux is going to be poking, and you don't even have a way to interact with it. It's not like, okay, well, they're poking, well, we can fight back against it. No, you have a huge amount of cheating health with that shield coming in, and Ezreal is obviously a very safe AD carry coming in. Talking about this mid lane, though, Papa Francesco on the Anivia is not something that we typically see, but against the Cassiopeia should be a pretty even lane, all things considered.
Yeah, as far as team fights go, these fights are going to get messy. There's no real front line for either team, no real engage for either team. You have like Hecarim who can run in there. You have the Hubris on the Aatrox who can pop World Ender and run in there. But it's really just two teams are going to be kind of running at each other, and whoever can land their abilities this time might have an effect. But the Hecarim is probably the most reliable engage in the game right now for this round.
I mean, if you saw Witchell last game, he was basically playing Hecarim for Zohair, just constantly going in, using the flag drag, just going in and stealing stuff. So, I mean, realistically, this is a perfect champion for Witchell. You get a strong 1v1 pick, especially against Kayn early on, where you're going to need that level 2 or that 2v2 to really start to do something. But Rosero already kind of leaving game. It looks like we did have a little bit of lag, so he's going to restart right there. We aren't in the pause, but for Witchell, this is just a better Jarvan at this point. He gets a free engage, he gets to also play with the Ignite this time around, really gets to start playing his Assassin Dream instead of having to be stuck on something like the Jarvan.
Yeah, so it's going to be a little more, pretty much the same thing he's going to do, just on a different champion this time around. So Hair mixing it up a little bit, though, going with the Kayn. I don't know if that's a pick of his or not, but that is not something we've seen a lot lately.
I would have preferred not to see this, but I mean,
yeah, and I mean, Blue Kayn did get some buff recently, but I mean, I think most of us, any person who's played solo queue ever with a Kayn, is just praying that he doesn't go Blue Kayn, because I mean, if it does get ahead and you can start popping people, it's great. But
he has the Conqueror.
Yeah, he has the Conqueror. So yeah, I assume it's gonna be Red Kayn if he can get it as much as possible. But you never know. They might be Weeb Edition might just be going for some of the power of the Weeb as much as possible and go all out. But we are unpaused now, going back into the rift. Both teams are 5-man stacking into the bottom. They're taking the top river entrance. They're taking the bottom entrance as well on the side of Wyoming. They're sneaking in here. Oh, they're going to use the Morgana. They're sneaking into this tri-bush. Oh, they're going all the way around.
They're going to go for the extended wrap. Okay, good. I love this.
Oh,
this is a lot safer.
Oh, goodness,
This is a lot safer. Oh, no.
Game 1 is carrying over into
Just
game
imagine
2.
all of the Kayn orbs he's going to be able to get early.
Oh my goodness. They don't know.
God.
They have no idea. Oh, good. There it is. Oh, they get binded up. Oh, there's two of them going down.
Oh, my God.
They're trading 1 for 1. We do see one shield barely gets out, so it's actually going to be a 1 for 1. But I actually almost turned into 2 kills right off the bat there, but that is going to be a first blood over to the support Lux. Unfortunately, didn't go over to anyone else. But that is a Jack getting a kill first. He's going to start with the correcting potion and the boots on his side, while Lux is going to start with the upgraded Frostfang on her side. So she's going to be getting a lot of gold if she can land that potion.
Oh boy, he gets an extra 25 movement speed. Great job, Jax. But
hey,
like you were saying,
having that movement speed.
I mean, we take a look at Spell Thieves versus Frostfang. It's an additional 10% damage, or additional 10% or 10 ability power. He gets double the amount of mana regen. He also gets, I mean, it's the same gold per 10, but also gets the additional 10% cooldown reduction. So Tormented Soil is not going to be doing too much against a Lux who's already going to have a little bit stronger in terms of damage, but should be a little bit more negligible. Double B again taking a lot of damage, and when we saw last game, Palm Goat was really taking it to Double B and showing off a lot of the disadvantages for EOD's bot lane, and I want them to be able to try to abuse this second time around.
Oh, and Papa's taking a lot of damage from Wyoming in the mid lane. In the top lane, Hubris and Rosero continuing the game 1 brawl. They have some kind of rivalry going on. They're just focusing on each other more than the minions this round.
Yeah, and something to note is I want to take a look at where the junglers are pathing, because we saw in that last game there is no level 2 gank this time from Witchell, but going for an extended topside clear. He's just gonna back get his these conquerors. I'm interested to see what he goes with this back. Sometimes we tend to see that people go for the Krugs and then go into Raptor, so you can go into that bot side, but he's able to just back, gets boots, and he's also able to pick up a control ward there.
Rosero just gives him a love tap though, getting some of those cane orbs.
I want to actually check. I wonder if they show you. No, of course. This is an indie company. No readability. It doesn't tell you how many orbs he has quite yet. He was able to get a couple there thanks to that early invade we saw from both of these teams. But he should be around 25 to 40% on his transformation already, depending on how much damage he's actually able to get with that W. We're gonna have to see, but already early on, first scuttle going over to Zohair, and now he's gonna be able to just come in here. He should know that Witchell is bot side with all of these camps cleared, has an idea, hey, this guy is bot side, start pinging, telling your bot lane and your mid lane, hey, be careful, he's gonna be coming from bot lane.
I would have liked to see him go for the top lane gank actually at that point. You could have assumed that Hecarim was on the bot side and taken to it, but I mean, Hubris doesn't need any help right now. He's taking Rosero down to very low, forcing the flash for free out of Rosero. So early on, this matchup is not going well for Jax.
Hey, you don't have a corrupting potion in your inventory, or at least you don't have a charge of it, so really don't know where you're gonna go for that. And that was actually a lot of wasted time now by Zohair. He goes, tries to check in this top side, realizes there's nothing. He's about to go back into his jungle, and he paths topside, and he just completely abandons the gank. Goes back, and now we see that Witchell's able to get a little bit of an advantage, clears out his bot side, is now able to get the scuttle as well, and potentially start to gank mid lane. Wame.
Oh, Wame's going at it. Oh, forces the flash out of Papa Francesco as well, but Witchell's here behind. Forces the flash out of Wame, pops the ignite as well, and he's getting the takes with his W. Is going to get the kill for free. That was a really good gank timing on the side of Witchell. So we're kind of seeing a repeat of game 1, except a little more focus in the mid lane this time around.
Yeah, good job right there. Papa Francesco does catch out on Wame going over for a little bit of an overextension, and this time not able to get away with a flash and a Sanguine pool, but Rosero is in a little bit of a tougher matchup here. Witchell now fighting Zohair.
Yeah, they're just going at it. This is one of the fun parts when there's no real tanks in the game, is they're just constant brawling, high damage fights. So that's always a fun bit to watch. But you know, Kane getting pushed away from his camp, but the only good part is whenever Kane does get that, even if he's
Zohair's coming in. Witchell's coming in from behind, bot side.
Oh, yeah, he's gonna go in, but meanwhile, the top lane, Hubris 1v1 for Rosero, and then the bot lane, they're actually not able to get anything on that side. So Hubris kind of repeating game 1 at this point, just controlling the early game super hard. He has almost a 10 CS lead and a free kill, and there's no teleport on the side of Jax to get back to lane quickly because he just used it.
Yeah, Rosero going for way too aggressive of a walking up. Yes, you are under turret and you're able to get the counter strike off, but you still need to play with a lot more respect. This is an Aatrox early on. There is a little bit of a level disparity now, and the CS is not looking too hot. We already saw last game, if that was anything, that Rosero can really play even from a deficit here, although it might be a little bit more difficult now this time around, considering how much healing this Aatrox has. But take a look again. Look at this. Yes, you have an Ezreal. Yes, you have Kleptomancy to try and make up for some of that gold, but there's no reason that this AD carry, that Palm Goat, should be 30 CS up on you, and just kind of, you're sitting there kind of bleeding in terms of gold here for this bot side. So really hate to see it, and yet again, Palm Goat, specifically this bot lane, coming up huge against the bot lane of EOD.
Yeah, it's almost the exact repeat of game 1 with the bot lane just getting a huge monster CS lead. Meanwhile, on the opposite side of the top lane, Hubris is just popping off early on at least. So we'll have to see if what both teams do about this time around, because previously Weeb Edition or Wyoming played the Palm Goat and got him even further ahead and just let Rosero be on an island. But so we'll have to see if they kind of do that again here. Meanwhile, Pop Francesco is doing a good job. He was getting pulled out early on here, but is able to stable out in this 1v1. One thing that, Cassiopeia, if she lands the Q on you and gets the poison, she does get that movement speed buff. But who's pretty much the best at slowing in the game? Anivia. So she can disengage pretty well with the Q and the wall and her ultimate at this point. So she should be able to stay safe the entire lane.
Yeah, I'm so confused right now when I look at Zohair. He goes to path topside, but he knows that he has no any camps up there. But now he almost as if he doesn't realize like how long it takes for jungle camps to really respawn. He says, "Oh, I'm already in the middle of mid lane. Let me go back to Krugs now." And I really think that that's a pretty huge mistake. You're wasting a lot of time, and you are playing Kane. You need to be able to get those stacks. I think topside would be easy.
You were top the world ender, but Sarah's super low. He's might not be getting from the. They are gonna ignite into Hubris. Is he gonna chase that out? They are gonna burn the flash out. He doesn't have a teleport up here though, so they could get a lot of free pressure. They don't know where Zohair's at right now, most likely, but there's nothing to stop that Jax from getting some CS back in his lane and getting a little pressure on the tower.
Yeah, he should be able to equalize it out, maybe get a single turret plate. I don't think he should be able to, or at least the Jax will be able to get much, but great job from Witchell. Immediately the Ignite comes off of cooldown, uses it again, goes to look for a fight on top side. But we're actually just going for this dragon.
Yeah, since Witchell did reveal himself on the top side of the map, and Zohair there to do anything with the top line farm, but he was able to go straight in that dragon pit, knew he's safe to do that, get some help with the lane priority that Muwa Maze had, and comes down. That's a free early Infernal Drake. That's something you really like to have on the side of Weeb Edition right now.
Yeah, now they should be able to also be able to give this blue over, steal it away from the Cassiopeia, which is one of those champions that is so mana intensive, and you don't have the TP in this lane. If you do have the TP in this lane, yes, giving up the blue buff is not what you want, but you can at least back comfortably, get back in the lane. You're not going to lose any kind of pressure. But not only this, wait a minute, they're just going to look for a 3-man onto Hubris here.
Hubris, he doesn't have his flash, he doesn't have the world ender. Witchell's coming around to knock him back in there. It does take a lot of damage for a turn to do that. He actually gets knocked down by the dome. Hubris is looking to go 1v3 and actually decides to change his mind and doesn't have the world ender or anything else. But there we go with Hubris again. He's in a 1v2, 1v3. He gets a kill and stays alive. That's so huge for Weeb Edition.
Yeah, now they're just going to go for a lane gank here. Zohair really just looking for any kind of orbs at this point. Rosero shouldn't look to push up here. Yes, Hubris is low. You need to play with some kind of respect. He's going to put the ward down, should see if Kane is going to come here. Comes in now.
Go big. Oh, he gets a stun off. He's gonna. Can he get it? Oh, he does get the shutdown. That's huge for Jack. He might be able to go 1v1 with Zohair. Oh, Zohair gonna buy himself a little time here. Is able to get taken down by Zohair at the end, but that is a shutdown going in favor of Jax, and he already has the Executioner. So depending on how this match of this lineup goes, it's kind of a weird first item, but he is gonna make sure Aatrox cannot keep sustaining against him.
Yeah, I mean, you are trading a little bit when it comes to the turret pressure. Both of these guys are going to have their TP within the next 30 to 45 seconds, so should at least put them at a little bit more even of a footing, but you're still down 20 CS against Hubris. He already has his boots, and the Ninja Tabbies are increasingly effective against someone like Rosero. Immediately uses the TP here, but taking a look across the lanes, Witchell, who just died, coming back, he's going to come farm out his bot side. Dragon not available, could look for a potential gank bot lane, but we're really looking at Zohair to really get that evolution off. I'm taking a look, still no indication whether or not he's going to transform. We're already 11 minutes into the game. You're starting to crest over that point where you really need to get that that evolution off. You need to be able to change into Rost already so that your increased effectiveness. Rosero, I don't know if you want to fight this, buddy. There's a mini wave coming in, and yes, you have the counter strike. But we don't, you got to be really careful right here, Rosero. He can 1v1 you and kill you.
Especially because since Rosero used his teleport, he shouldn't have used it, but he did use his teleport to get back to the lane. Hubris still has his, so if he gets a really bad trade and has to base, Hubris has the advantage at that point. Already has a TP advantage at this point. So, man, if he keeps hitting those dunks, he's just going to keep chipping Rosero out of this lane.
Yeah, and I love this coming out from the side of EOD. They move all of their laners over to just to try and fight for vision priority. Ooh.
More, two old game, but then put a play on Muwame on that side there. So Zohair does try and get some poke damage, try and get his orbs. Oh, they almost poke out the Sivir. Oh, they do get the final with the Lux proc there at the end on the passive. Isn't able to finish off Palm Goat while Mom Gank Please is trying to go up top to get a bit of a, or go mid with the roam. Meanwhile, the Huber's going for a tower dive, gets down to the tower. Oh, he's gonna get the res though, the World Ender resurrection, and he's flashing the emote to prove how cool he is under the turret. Gonna get himself another plate. And as we just talked about, Rosero has no TP. He can't come back here. Meanwhile, the jungle, Zohair is going 1v1 with Witchell. Witchell does take the red buff away from him, forcing him out of the jungle. So they do get something a little bit back on the side of Wyoming.
Yeah, but this is just sloppy. Basically a 2 for 0 right here. Yes, you get the flash out of Moame, but the top side is just getting absolutely demolished at the point. Rosero taking a pretty terrible trade right there. You're losing about a plate and a half right there. And Pomgo, I mean, look, yes, you can try and fight this Ezreal. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but that Lux definitely can put down Summon. This is an Ezreal who is sitting on a Manamune as well as the Sheen. So you have to play with some respect here. Put some respect on Double B's name. Yes, you are winning in the CS, but it's not by much anymore. It's not by that 30, 40, 60 mark that we saw last game. And Pomgo just gets absolutely obliterated. Has to use the flash as well and still ends up dying. A lot of mistakes from Wyoming. 6-3 already, 13 minutes in. And now we see both at the top and the jungler sitting up here. They don't have they have no idea that this guy is starting the Rift Herald, and they should have a general idea like, hey, if I'm Zoe, I'm saying, well, I just played the Hecarim last game. Where does Hecarim want to be? Probably taking this objective. And it's a perfect time for this, too, as the dragon is coming up. They can move this Rift Herald into mid lane, potentially crack open this turret, and they'll have a pretty great objective set up for them if they want to go and start this dragon.
As we talked about that, Zohair has finally got his Rast evolution, so he is going to go for the red cane.
Immediately.
And he's going for that pull down Muwame down here a little bit to kind of give them as much assist as possible, but they lose the mid lane turret just for free. There's no way to contest it. They are going to push it in there, get that free first turret, can finish off all the plates as well. Still down just a little bit of gold after getting that play due to what all the events up top side here, but Muwame is going to clear out the Herald.
Hubris is coming down.
Oh, they are. They do have the flank on the front system. They don't know he's here yet. Witchell's going to ult in, does barely tag onto Muwame. Muwame, he's got the sustain and keep himself alive. Takes the ignite, doesn't die. Francesco tries to flash in and tries to get the kill back. Not going to be able to get it, loses the passive and his flash and goes down for it. So while they had just gotten that free gold, they just gave some of it back. And meanwhile, Rosero tried pushing on the top side, but there's no plates left at this point, so there's no bonus gold to be had.
I'm just very confused with what Wyoming was going for there. Yes, I can see maybe they want to go for that mid lane siege with the Rift Herald, but you don't have great siege. Only really Anivia is there to really hit the turret when you have a Cassiopeia in your face. And then we see that they don't even make the rotation over to Dragon. You have the Sivir and the Morgana to at least contest against the Ezreal and the Lux in terms of wave clear. Would have liked to have seen them immediately move over to the Dragon, but they avoid doing that, and they end up giving 2 kills over.
Yeah, so and that's another kill over to Hubris. Hubris is now 4-1. So and Aatrox, like, I know Silas is a super strong pick right now, but Aatrox is busted right now with his sustained the new world ender. Like, if that guy gets ahead of you, it's a lot different than when Silas is ahead in a team fight. He can simply 1v5 with that regen, so he is just beating up Rosero in this 1v1 for right now. I mean, there could be a chance to add Jack Scales that he might be able to claw back a little bit, but right now we're not seeing any hint of that right now.
Yeah, I'm just scared for the side of Wyoming. You might not be able to get that chance to scale this time around, and we saw last game, even with triple TPs, well, EOD was not able to really play the side lane, play the objectives as well, and obviously we won't really count those smite steals as maybe in the plan for the side of EOD, but Wyoming are giving up some pretty massive leaves early on, and Witchell does have mid lane early.
Yep, gets a free kill on the Muwame. The Anivia, if a Cassiopeia gets stuck, inside that slowing zone behind the wall, that's a free gank every single time. But for that going on, there's still less pressure top lane. Hubris is going to secure the first tower completely by himself. Actually, he does. That's not the first turret. My mistake.
It's the first turret for EOD.
That is true. That is his first turret. That is what I meant. Exactly. That's definitely what I meant. Nothing else. But yeah, but I mean, that is still solo turret gold in favor of the Aatrox.
Yep. This does mean that Rosero does get a little bit easier of a farming lane. If Aatrox does come back here, you're going to be overextending pretty heavily. And for Rosero, just means, hey, we're just going to farm out, and we're going to be able to catch up on a little bit of that CS deficit that I'm in. And hopefully he's able to pick up that Triforce already, because he did have to make that pit stop for the Executioner's Calling. Already a 4-man here potentially, but they do know that Papa Francesco walking over a ward here. Unable to do too much. Looks like they're going to try and overforce, but Zohair is on his way. Muame as well. This could potentially be a pretty dangerous fight. Double TPs are available for both top laners.
Oh, he gets fruited up under the turret. Gets blown up by a King's Land. Just takes him away from there. Does burn the teleport out of there. Zohair flashes in, gets a knockup on Anivia. Anivia doesn't have the flash or the passive. Does go golden, kind of stay alive. Witch misses the ult. Ezreal gets a kill. King gets another kill. The World Editor comes in here. Unfortunately, Palm got the flash over the wall and paid the bomb plan, but that means they're going to lose his turret most likely. And all they can really get for it right now is Jax some CS in the mid lane, and there's nothing else to be gained in return. So that's just a huge play for on the side of Weeb Edition.
This is so sloppy, and this was one of the things that when we were looking in draft, at least I was thinking, how does this team win? Because we have, I mean, Wyoming is just, you see all the pieces are there, but it doesn't seem like they're kind of fitting. It looks like they're trying to fit a square piece into a circle hole, and it really is painful to watch as they're kind of just using their ultimates. They're kind of, yes, they're pressing buttons, but that's about it, really. I mean, we see that the team fight from Zohair coming in immediately just trying to get right on top of Witchell. And Papa Francesco, they all overextend. They don't have a lot of summoners. And while the binding, yes, isn't able to land on a Witchell thanks to the Black Shield, Morgana just gets hit with that. Final Spark comes out. Lux is able to pick up a kill. And then they just get completely run down. They lose the turret as well. And EOD is not just snowballing this, but really starting to run away with a lot of these fights. Wyoming kind of looking like chickens without their heads on.
Yeah, because, like, there was no reason to really go for that play, but they're just desperate at this point. Like, they felt like, you know, hey, we have 4 bush here right now. Even though we don't know where anybody is, we just need to go for this turret dive. There's nothing to be gained off it, though. Even if they got the kills, they would have gotten the turret, maybe, and that was it, though. So that's not really a good play. But, so we do see him posturing up in the middle. Like, oh, get a lot of stun snare on Del B. But he's Ezreal, so he just gets to E away to safety, and that's one of the things the champion does offer. He might not be as meta as he used to be, as much as he was last season, or actually early on this season maybe, but you know, he does have that beautiful amount of safety that he has going on.
Hey, wait a minute. Why doesn't Cassiopeia have boots?
I will smack you.
Come on. Wait, Zohair's here. This is the dragon. Might have to force out the TP, but Double B no longer has the TP. He just used it to get back into this fight. Rosero as well still has the TP, but he's going to keep pushing top side. What are they doing? Are they just going to give this up? They're not going to even push out mid.
Yeah, they're not getting anything back for it. They give it up. I mean, Rosero's getting topside pressure and pushing that in to get some damage down there. He does seem like, it looks like he has the turret crusher broom. I forget what it's off the top of my head.
Demolish.
Yeah, demolish. He does have that, so he's able to get that turret back. But a single turret for your Jack is not worth a third Drake in favor of Weeb Edition. They might, right now they're almost playing like they just want to put all their eggs in the Jack's basket. Like, get him to Triforce, let him try.
Are you sure? Because they haven't been showing that they've wanted to do that. I don't see no ganks coming out for my man Rosero. There is no eggs in this basket. All the basket's gone. The basket's been incinerated. The eggs are completely been stolen. Rosero needs to do a lot more, and I just in general I think Wyoming is having a pretty big issue. It feels like they're like kind of lost in this game. They're like, all right, well, we won bot lane. What do we do now? We fought for the vision. We pushed out top lane, but we got the Rift Herald. What do we do with it?
Another issue I'm kind of having is, I know this. I guess this has been the more common build. Is Palmgo is going for the Infinity Edge Essence Reaver build, so she has no additional attack speed right now at all. Which Sivir, when it comes time for these team fights, while those boomerang blades are her biggest team fight ability, and if you're putting them out pretty slowly, don't do as much. But Muwa Mei is trying to go toe to toe with Rosero, does have to complete Rylai's whiffs the ult for nothing. Rosero flashes in, but he's getting kind of around by the Rylai's. He's gonna go down, but meanwhile in the top lane, we do see Hubris gets caught out without any vision, kind of stuck out a little too far. So they go 1-for-1. The moment one teammate makes a play, their other teammate's throwing.
What is Rosero doing? Hello? I want to, if we could, I don't know if we can, but can we get like an insight into Rosero? Like, I wish I had pro view right now so I can see what Rosero is like maybe like going for with that play, because I'm very confused with what the objective was. That blows the flash. Yes, you get Muaname's heal, but you also die there.
The issue is, I think what he was going for, it looked like he went for the flash. But
he doesn't have counter strike up.
Well, that's the thing. I think he was using it and he flashed, but it had timed at that point, so he just flashed. he just flashed into him at that point. He had nothing, and the Rylai's was able to kite it out enough. And I mean, Muwa Mei, it does get her healing as well, so you can't fight Cassiopeia with that much kiting ability, at least at this point. So yeah, that was a bit of a weird play, but I mean, yeah, he lost and gave over a kill, but then Hubris went out and gave away a shutdown in the top side of the map. So it's one of those things. It's just like one team does something. Back. Yeah, exactly. So it's not the end of the world, and thankfully nothing really came of that. It just looks like it was just traded some gold across the map here. Zohair's looking to keep control of some of the vision here, but looks like right now Weeb Edition just looking to play for the objectives, not looking to go for picks too much. They just want to control the dragons. They want to control the barons. Feel like that's their win condition. But I mean, at the same time, as far as scaling goes, the scaling favors Wyoming this time around. Previously, it faced a Weeb Edition in the previous round, but when it was a Sivir, a Nivea, and a Jax, that's a lot of scaling that you can't wait out for too long.
It's very difficult for both teams to try and deal with waves. Obviously, with Nivea, she just puts down the Glacial Storm, and basically the entire wave disappears. Same with the Cassio.
He's gonna try and see it. Stun down. Pop the World Ender, goes back right into 4 people. Hubris here. Pops Ignite, but yeah, Zohair's going back in. He's 1v3. Hubris left him. So Zohair's trying to 1v3, get as much back as he can. Gets a beautiful little knockup. Just flash away. Rosero flash. Oh my goodness, that knockup was huge. So nobody dies at that point. Oh, King's Land. If he get, I thought he was gonna ult there. He didn't go for it. He didn't quite have it yet. It was on cooldown, just barely. But yeah, so that was I thought Hubris ditched for a little bit. He just come back, lands a beautiful Q, and is able to keep Zohair alive. Yeah,
that was really close. Papa Francesco.
They are here on the wrong side of the map, but here comes Witchell. He's gonna try to. He's a lot of damage back from. My goodness, he flashes. He knocks it down. He gets a kill back to Hecarim. They're gonna kill. Oh my goodness. And Hubris is here as well. Doesn't really have much to do in the situation. But my goodness, Muwa Mei just wow, that was a beautiful flash on his side to avoid all the CC from both the Hecarim and the Anivia. And they're actually looking for the Baron at 24 minutes.
I was really hoping for Anivia to go for the TP while in egg form, but some of us just can't get what we want. However, EOD is going to get this Baron pretty much for free at this point, thanks to that 1v2 coming out from Muame in that mid lane. They're going to trade it for an Infernal Drake, but taking a look at my book, I'm pretty sure it says that trading Baron for an Infernal Drake is definitely worth. You might even get an extra mid turret as kind of like cherry on top.
Though we're kind of repeating last game a little. Didn't we just have this at like 25 minutes in the previous game and the Baron team got aced? So as long as Weeb Edition doesn't do that, they should be good to go. But
already a good improvement.
Yeah, it's already better. They took a mid turret, and no one died. They're probably going to count that as a win. So it's definitely one of those things that, yeah, like as soon as we thought that they weren't going to do anything with the scale, or we were worried about the scaling, they get a beautiful 2v1 and finish off, and they go straight to Baron, no hesitation. They do lose that Infernal Drake like you mentioned, but while that does certainly help with the scaling team, that's definitely not, depending on how Weeb Edition uses the Baron, it's not necessarily worth it.
I wouldn't be surprised if we get to a game 3 We end up seeing a Cassidy at one point, because honestly, that's where this is going, right? We're just going to get to those points where teams are just, both these teams are going to say, all right, Cassidy at level 18. Let me tell you something, just immediately going for it. But 14-5, 26 minutes in, and EOD with a Baron in their back pocket are looking to siege onto this mid turret. We see Rosero not able to push out too much, while top wave is kind of sitting there.
Oh, here we go again. Rosero's going in, but oh my goodness, he has to put the world in there and take it down. Witchell about gets taken down. Decided the Black Shield does keep him away from the slows coming out there. So on both sides, both teams are doing their best to int, but this time no one's dying for it. So, but with the Sipper and Nibia, like you just talked about, oh my goodness, the slows were so hard. Like they're doing a good job wave clearing up until that point. The slow on the Iceborne Gauntlet and the Rylai's Crystal Scepter on Muwame is just, woo, that sucks when you're Nibia. If you do get caught out, and Nibia has nothing to get out of that.
Yeah, definitely looking very, very closed at this point. EOD are just taking.
Oh, they're going in. Zohair gets the beautiful knock up, no Black Shield, and just kills them 1v1. Double B's going 1v1 with Witchell, forcing him to speed out of there. Double B's just not scared at the moment here. So, this game is definitely a little more one-sided than the previous game. They are going to clean up at 27 minutes. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, we also see that Hubris has done it completely, pushed Rosero out of the lane, and is looking to get this turret as well. So they should be able to get 2 inhibs at 28 minutes, basically.
Yeah, EOD showing the game 1 win was a little bit of a fluke. Double smites going off. Looks like they might be trying to go for something here. Final Spark comes out. Just going to be a little bit of poke, and with double inhibitors, Wyoming are not only just bleeding, they're completely gorged out onto the field. 16-5 again for EOD. No dragon this time. They're just gonna go for a reset. And within the next 5 minutes, now what I want to see is EOD actually close out a game. Because we saw last game, they had themselves an advantage. They set themselves up for success. They were able to get a good position onto both the Baron and the Elder Drake. And then we just see Witchell coming with some pretty miracle plays, saving and ending up winning the game for Wyoming. So now we need to see if EOD can close out a game. We're reaching that 30 to 35 minute mark, really where we start to see them spike. I mean, take a look at the items right now. Muame with the triple, Rylai's, Morello's, as well as the tier Serifs. And we take a look even at Hubris. He's got his trifecta of items, double B as well. These are all powerful things for the side of EOD. Now we need to see them close out this game and inspire some confidence in their gameplay, because their early game's looking pretty good. Their mid game's not bad at all. Now we need to see them actually close out, get the victory, head to game 3, and if they are able to win this series, I think it'll be very, very. You can very confidently say that they'll be at least a contender in semifinals if they make it there.
Yeah, I'd say if they win this, it will bring it to a one-to-one match score. They just have to close it out correctly. Zohair's just now catching up to them, though, so he can step at this tower here. There's nothing else to go for. Yeah, the dragon is spawning here in a little while, about another 40 seconds, but it's just a mountain. There's not very many objectives left on the map. Another mountain drake's not really worth anything to you. It could be worth a lot for Wyoming, but right now they have 2 lanes of supers going in. Yeah, Pomgo gets poked out super hard, no longer be able to offer that super wave clear. We do see Muwame gets stunned up there and takes a little chunk of damage, but it's going to give at least the outer turret up, let them push in and get even more pressure on the map, and that's probably going to let Hubris solo out the Mountain Drake on the bot side by himself, and that is the way he's going to go for while the pressure continues on the top side of the map.
Wyoming needs to just give this tier 2 already over. You need to be able to salvage your base. This is free CS going over to some of your lanes that are suffering. Now, you do have an advantage for the most part, obviously, other than Rosero. Muame in a bit of a position here. Yeah. Flash already coming out, but a simple flash going out for Cassiopeia. Maybe we don't see too much out of that, but they should be able to just catch the CS. You have great wave clear. You need to be able to turtle right now. Make sure that Zohair and they're not able to really get too much the rest of EOD. The Dragon finally going over the side of EOD. Baron coming up within the next minute. EOD have a lot on their plate to be able to close out. The Ezreal is doing pretty fantastically so far. Muame and Hubris are really just front runners. I don't want to take anything away from Zohair, but both of these guys are looking pretty amazing. It looks like our camera has gone a little bit crazy.
Yeah,
But
like, sometimes just when there's much going on. Oh, but Wachell has to ult out of there to keep himself alive. Was getting flanked at that point, so that's no ult on the Hecarim right as the dragon's coming up there. That's a big ult that Hecarim can use to steal to smite steal with. He can fear everybody out of the pit just to buy himself enough time to smite. Doesn't have it anymore though. So we still got 2 lanes of super minions going in. Am I missing something?
I'm just looking at this camera right now. It's all right, Daddy Zillion.
Oh.
We'll get you back in here. But for everybody, the Baron is being taken. Well, I'm in a bad position.
Well, yeah, while that's going on, we'll just narrate as can. The Baron does go over to Weeb Edition with it. Did get a kill over to Wazero. Wazero's just standing up, almost going to get a kill back. But isn't quite able to, so we do see a fight go on there. Palmgo does go down to Zohair, gets another kill for himself, and we also see the Nibia going down to Papa Francesco. So we're actually going to see the game end. Okay, it looks like the camera is back to normal at this point. So sorry about that, guys, but the camera is back to normal as we're getting the camera back into place. So we're just seeing that Weeb Edition is going to end the game at this point. There's nothing left to stop them, and so that is going to bring the match score to 1-1, and so that is going to bring us to game 3 to decide who was going on to the semifinals.
Yeah. Game 3 already between EOD Weeb Edition and University of Wyoming. And while it wasn't as sloppy as the last game, I'm glad to see that it was a much cleaner game coming out from EOD. No miracle steals this time coming out from the side of Wyoming. Honestly, coming into game 3, EOD is looking very, very scary because Rosero, I mean, yeah, he had time to get back into this game in game 1. This time around, Hubris just absolutely dumpstered him and made sure to keep him in there. Really just showing some real janitorial skills right there.
Yeah, and kind of as you mentioned there, like going back to the first game, like as much as a chaotic game as it was, it came down to, I think you had mentioned, Weeb Edition lost that game. They gave up the Baron with the Smite Steal. They gave up the Eldrake to a Smite Steal. If those two things didn't happen, they probably would have won that game. So now they did win this game when they got a control lead. They got a gold lead. They controlled the map. They just snowballed it correctly. So going into game 3 as Wyoming, you gotta be a little worried. Like, unless you can pull something out special in this situation, Weeb Edition has been in control most of the series.
Yeah. So now going into game 3, we're going to send it to a short break here. But coming in, guys, game 1 going over to University 2, very convincingly an EOD win. Hopefully, I mean, if you are Wyoming, you're very much on the back foot here and you're looking for a surprise win. You're looking to try and make up for some of the huge mistakes that you had in game 2. Let's see what happens. Let's see if EOD can try and close this out, go over in the semifinals. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome everybody for the final game today in Risen Dominate Premade. I am Alk Batter, joined today for the last time, Josie. Bring us into this game 3 between Weeb Edition, EOD Weeb Edition versus University of Wyoming.
Yep, we are going into the final quarterfinal match between these two players to see who will continue on to the semifinals for the Dominate Premade group. I mean, if anything about the previous games or say anything, it's most likely going to go in favor of Weeb Edition. They are back on the red side this time around. Blue side has won every game so far, though, so there are things going in both sides' favor. But as we're getting into the pick and draft, we do see the exact same bans going on so far. We see the Red Side, the Oriana get banned. We see the Phil 6 and the Nautilus get banned again. So weird ways of adjustments. We gotta see if the Yumi gets banned again or not this time around.
Guys, Aatrox, Yumi, Silas, Sivir, anything, please. This draft. I mean, Yumi does get banned finally, so you see at least 3 champions that are actually worth something between Rek'Sai, Yumi, and Nautilus. But man, is this really infuriating to see. Aatrox is still on the table, and if we see Hubris or Rosero get this, it's going to be incredibly problematic for whoever is able to pick this up. I'm very much hoping we don't see something like this. I mean, even Pyke is on the table. If one of these players wants to play it, could potentially see a lot of play if we end up maybe getting through most of this draft. But again, so some pretty key picks: Kai'Sa, Sivir, Xayah, all on the table and for the taking, but not seeing the kind of priority that maybe I would have liked to have seen in the last couple games.
Yep, and we do see Aatrox gets first pick for the 3rd time this series. That all 3 games, the blue side has first picked Aatrox, but this time we do see Double B pick up the Ezreal first on the side of Weeb Edition. So we'll have to see. It just looks like they're going safe for their bot lane this time around, not going for anything too crazy since they don't have the Yumi to back it up. And they are hovering the Lux again around this time around. Wonder if they'll stick with that. It does look like they are going to lock it in. So, yeah, that is going to be the Lux Ezreal bot lane going. It did go really well for them the first time around. They did start a bit rough previously. They were down a good bit of CS, but they weren't really. It wasn't as bad as the first game. They were down
been
the
every
CS.
game for this.
Yeah, that's been standard. The Palmgo has been doing a good job with alongside Mom Gank, please, controlling the lane early on. We see the Cassio get picked again by University of Wyoming. We're not having the salty run back, are we? I'd rather salty run back.
I'm so confused as to why you would pick the Cassiopeia here. You don't have any idea what these lane matchups are. Maybe they go for a Cassiopeia bot lane, but I doubt it. Something we haven't seen in a very long time. They do pick up themselves the Alistar, but so many 80 carries are available. When you have Ezreal on the table, you can really freely kind of ban whatever you want. Last pick for Weeb Edition. Wouldn't it be surprised if we see the jungle or the mid laner? Yep, looks like they are just going to go for the Corki in this situation. Now they've really just kind of locked in. I would have liked to have seen this Lux be a little bit more flexible as to where they were going to send it. More than likely, yes, King's Land can get it, but really just opens up your draft. And now we see the bans. Okay, we get it. There's no 80 carry, but you're still going to ban the Zillion even though both solo lanes have already been picked.
And also a ban towards O'Hare on the Kayn there. I think that's a bit of an odd one. I didn't think he had that much of a high impact on the Kayn in the first game, but maybe decided that's something they don't want to deal with at the moment here. They are going to ban out the Jarvan this time around. They want to get those dunks out there and get rid of the Silas as well, because that was a bit problematic in the first game. Even though it didn't win in the first game, but they did. I guess they decided that it's enough of a power pick that they don't want to deal with it, so they get rid of that as well. Zillion remains banned as well. They want that. Kind of weird to ban that in the third phase when they must just be suspecting it's going to be a Cassiopeia bot because the solo lane's already picked. So and support. So Zillion's actually a weird ban because both solo lanes are picked, most likely. Yeah, and then there's support's picked. But we do see the Ornn coming in. That's most likely going to be the top lane Ornn.
Yeah, for sure. I think that is a pretty good pick. It allows them to have a lot easier of execution for their team fight. So hovering the Ahri immediately pick, I think. So yeah, that is going to be a Cassiopeia bot lane. I'm glad that Weeb Edition were able to see that, but still, getting rid of the Zillion, I think, is a pretty big error. You still have a lot of things you can work around in mid, and having your Corki up first really, really is kind of telltale as to where you want to put that. And already, University of Wyoming, it looks like Witchell instead is going to be picking up the Evelyn. Both teams have finally, I hope, abandoned this Hecarim. It has not looked amazing from either of these guys, which are having a little bit of more of an successful early game in game 2, but maybe we see the Kha'Zix. I think that would be a very good pick for Zohair considering his play style. But it looks like it is just going to be the Sejuani, something we did see banned last game, and could be, there's a lot more traditional coming out from Weeb Edition. EOD just looking to really just try to hammer home a more solid win. And if they're able to win on this, again, like I said in the last game, inspires a lot of confidence going into semifinals.
Yeah, in the final pick, we do see Zohair pick up the Sejuani for that final tanky build to counter the Elise. Kind of a very easy to execute comp on the actual side of Weeb Edition. Both the mid laner and the Ezreal, both Corki and Ezreal had the little dashes to avoid getting caught out. So they also have a lot of poke as well combined with the Lux. But then once it's time to engage, you hit the Sejuani ult that can set up the Ornn ult, or the other way around. You can use the Ornn ult to set up the Sejuani ult to engage. And again, the only real front line on the side of Wyoming is going to be the Alistar, who, thankfully can break the Sedge ult or, absorb the Ornn knock up pretty well as well. But they don't have a lot of disengage outside of the one thing I do want to point out, though, is Cassio can actually cancel the second half of Ornn's ult if she gets to grounded on him. If Ornn is grounded, he cannot use the second half of his ult. So, depending on how these fights go, that could be a little handy.
Yeah, I'm just going to call it here. I think there's a pretty weak draft coming out from University of Wyoming. Yes, the Ahri does have a pretty decent matchup, especially with the Glacial Augment, but you have a Cassiopeia who doesn't have a cleanse. Not going to look to be building QSS, obviously, because it's not a great item, especially not for AP. And there's a lot of CC that Cassiopeia, again, with no boots, is going to have to deal with. You have the Lux Binding coming out. You have Sejuani and Ornn that can just jump right on top of Cassiopeia, either with the Bellows Breath and the Call of the Forge God, or just the Bola coming out from Sejuani. Becomes really, really difficult for a Cassio with no cleanse to deal with. And yes, it does give you a little bit of a better 2v2 lane, but Lux ends up landing a binding, and it becomes very problematic to try and deal with this team.
Yep, and as soon as we get in the game here, we do have another pause going on here right now. I'm not seeing exactly what the cause of that is quite yet. I'm guessing some of the players need to get something sorted out. So we'll have to see how this all goes on. But, we can make all the predictions we want, but both these teams have done a good job of just taking predictions and just chucking it out the window. They don't care what we have to say about their situation. They're like, you know what? We don't want to win if we have the better comp. We have the win condition? No. We just gonna do what we want to do here. I guess while we wait for the game to continue, we'll take a look at some of the runes. Possibly, we do see the Corki going with the fleet footwork, so he's just gonna go to try and sustain himself in that mid lane as much as possible, get himself some sustain. We do see Hubris running the spell thieves, the spell book in the top lane, so that can actually be a lot for the team fights. You can switch out to have like an exhaust or an ignite in that front line when you don't need to teleport, or you can teleport to a fight, and if you haven't gotten to combat yet, you can switch your spell if it's ready to go at that point, so you can teleport to a fight and have that little extra bit of edge going into team fights that can make a big difference as well. Not seeing anything unusual.
Not a huge fan of that Keystone choice there. I think Grasp would be a lot better. Allows you to 1v1 against Bracero and gives you a little bit more of that tankiness. Obviously, the utility that comes with the spell book, like you're saying, Exhaust could be a pretty good choice. I think Cleanse would be a little bit of a better option, depending if you do want to be able to deal with the fact that you have a lot of CC, specifically from Palmgoat and Francesco. But we're going to have to see. I think that this game is really going to have to come down to Papa Francesco just having much more of an influence in mid lane. We saw in that game 1, really wasn't able to impact the map too much. We saw that the Lux less than lackluster, and even in game 2, the Anivia was just getting completely picked on between Zohair and Muame just coming in and just blasting him in lane. So right now, I'm wanting to see Papa Francesco really have a much better of a game. You have the Glacial Augment, so you're going to be able to have the Twin Shadows. You'll also have the GLP, and you'll just have a lot more utility when you want to roam, and especially with the Spirit Rush, should have at least a little bit better of a laning phase going into roaming around that 10-15 minute mark.
Yeah, we do see Papa Francisco running the Glacial Augment as well, though. That actually can be a pretty fun build to run on someone like Arlie if you get the auto down to slow an opponent, or you can either use it to engage or disengage if the jungler's coming in. Tap in with that auto, buy yourself that little extra breathing space to get out of there. So she's most likely going to go for the GLP item, which it can actually have a huge impact in team fights as well. You just spray that down to the front line of your opponents. That's a good way to buy your team some space or get a pick off it also. So it could be interesting to see how if he makes use of that or not. A lot of people will pick things and not actually make use of their functions. Sometimes we do see that happen occasionally. Hopefully that won't happen here, but we do see the game get unpaused. We're getting back into place here. So sorry about that small wait, guys. We are getting onto the Rift though. We do see this time that both teams are going for more of a regular defense, kind of going spreading out for the 5-man front here instead of the cheesy 5-man invade as we saw in the previous game.
Yeah, the past 2 games, one of these teams has gone for something of an invade, trying to start something. But this time, both teams just want to play it safe. They don't want to throw this early game. This is the last game in the series. Next team that wins this is going to be able to go to semifinals. I just want to check real quick who they could potentially be playing over in the semifinals. But yeah, I mean, so far, this has been a pretty interesting series, all things considered. A lot to take away from if you are going to be if you are an opponent, you're looking at this. A lot of confusing information, to say the least. But I think both of these teams do have some win conditions in terms of players. Specifically, if Palmcode is able to win on this Cassiopeia, completely opens up this team's possibility on how they want to play with draft. Swain could potentially come into bot lane. Like we're seeing already, Cassiopeia could still be something we potentially see. Nico even potentially. I mean, hasn't hit the ban list so far, but even on the other side, EOD. I mean, they just have a strong top side. Mid lane being a little bit more aggressive. Just their entire top side between top, jungle, and mid are looking very, very strong coming into semis. So both of these teams could potentially be threats depending on who wins this game. And really, I want to see Papa Francesco have a much better of a game.
Yeah, we want to see what he does with his Ari pick, but it does make sense for both teams to take a little more lax start in this round. This is the 3rd game, so whoever wins this does continue on. So you do want to be a little more practical. Don't throw away anything extra that you don't need to. We do see both junglers starting on the opposite side as well. We do see that the Elise goes straight for her Krugs to clear them out as well. She's the fastest amount of XP, but Zohair went for the race to get down to the blue side as fast as possible. We'll have to see what they do. Both Sejuani and the Elise are pretty strong level 2, level 3 gankers, so we'll have to see what they want to actually do with their early pressure.
I love this from Zohair, going for the tracker's lens immediately, the sweeping lens, on level 1, deciding, hey, really, I just want to be able to contest for vision, make sure that I can keep my lane safe, and you're able to fight for vision, make sure that they can clear it out. And especially for Witchell, you're going to need it to really try to deal with how mobile this champion is. Just a lot of movement speed, especially in spider form, and just being able to clear it just a little bit faster than Sejuani early on. I love this start already, but we're going to have to see, like you were saying, the effectiveness, where the ganks are going to coming off from. Because Zohair is going to have a little bit of a tougher time. Both of the junglers are around this mid lane.
Yeah, they're going for it. Zohair making use that early sweeper, trying to make sure that he's not seen, probably waiting for Francisco to go up there. But Francisco's doing a good job here. He knows that his jungler's on the top side of the map, so he's just standing on that side of the lane. That's a very smart thing to do as a laner, just play towards your jungle, even though it does kind of give away their position a little bit. It also does keep you alive.
Yeah, and both junglers have a general idea of where they are. Probably starting on the opposite scuttle here. We already saw, like you were saying, Papa Francesco hanging towards the top side. You have a general idea. You also saw the Scryer's Bloom come out and show. Look at Hubris taking a lot of damage. This is one of the greater matchups for the side of the Aatrox, and Rosero is able to get the bully off. Finally a good matchup, and I think picking a pretty weak lane matchup against Rosero. Just try and deal with the late game. Here we go.
In the bottom, yeah, we do see the Alistar go for that knockup, but it takes a lot of damage in return. But one thing that is kind of really nice with the Alistar Cassiopeia lane is Alistar can land his pulverized combo, knock him up in the air, and if Cassio can get her grounded on top of them before they come down, they can't flash away, and Ezreal can't eat away or anything like that. Didn't quite work out there, but it did burn the flash for just a combination. He's gonna have to use his pots to get back up into full health, but that's the kind of effect the lane can have.
Yeah, they know that Elise is here. Take a look at where Sejuani is. Zohair and Witch are going to come up to fight each other, fighting over the Krugs. Orange should be able to collapse on this.
Oh, that beautiful repel to get away from the knock. There was a beautiful little dodge on the side of Witchell.
Yep, that was getting really close, but he's able to get most of that. And look at this, Witchell level 3, just hunting for that level 4. Zohair's going to be able to come here, pick up a little bit more CS, 2 camps in favor of able to also now path. And I love this pathing coming out because now he's able to go through his bots or his topside jungle. Gank, please. Just going for, just showing off that he can land the headbutt pulverize. But now you go for the Raptors. His camps are going to spawn in order. He's able to now show bot side and potentially even threaten for an early Cloud Drake. So already I love this from Zohair in terms of pathing. Way better than what we saw in Game 2.
Yeah, it's definitely an improvement. But another improvement we're seeing here is Double B is actually tied in CS this time around. Oh, man.
He's not down 40 CS.
Yeah, he's actually, they're staying even in the bot lane this time around. Top lane's kind of going the opposite as well. He getting beaten up by Rosero as well. Yeah. So this game's already different than the previous 2 at least. So we're kind of seeing how the difference go, but the CS leads are still there. We do see that Rosero has a good CS lead on the side of Ornn. That's pretty normal in this kind of matchup though. Ornn is not the best early game champion, especially against something like an Aatrox that does have all that bully and sustained power coming out of his power. So we do see Hubris has to go back early and burn his teleport, which might not want to burn the teleport there in case you need it, because Rosero, I was going to say that Rosero did not need to burn his teleport there, but he is going to use that. He is a little bit teleport happy, but I mean, if you can walk back the lane, you should just be using that walk. He would have had a teleport advantage. Yeah. But as we talk about that, we do see Zohair managed to get a dragon early on for Wyoming. It does seem to be a constant theme. Zohair's able to always get these dragons early on for free, and that's, it might not be the most key thing, but having the Air Drake early on for your jungler and also having an Alistar who likes to roam or even an Ahri who likes to roam, that can be a really strong dragon to have early on.
Yeah, and I just love this coming out from Zohair. He gets the mid priority with Muamni, and they move over, Muame, and they just move over, get the dragon, and they can just move back in the lane. And sadly, Papa Francesco's not able to push this lane too far. Take a look, has to use the package, has to use the W there, but the trading between a Corki and an Ahri, it's pretty contentious between the 2 of them. Hubris using the Bellow's Breath just to try and get the unstoppable right there, but thankfully some of the changes, to Corki a couple patches ago where his rockets do just a little bit more damage, mean that he can start to contend when it comes to damage early on. Hubris.
Oh, but that's one thing Ornn can do. He can pop that unstoppable. He doesn't get pulled out that easy. But man, that just continues. Man, he's just getting beat up early on, down 20 CS already.
Yeah. If I'm Rosero right now, I just want to freeze the wave. I want to almost last hit these minions, make sure that Hubris is not able to farm at all, let them die, just solely thanks to minions. And really what I want to see is, where's Witchell this game? Past 2 games, we've seen this guy have early on influence. He doesn't have the Ignite this time around thanks to not being on Hecarim, but this is an Elise. The longer you wait before you actually show on the map, the longer Sejuani has to really start scaling, getting a couple more items, and then you reach that point where you're basically useless. You're a cocoon bot where you just land the stun, and that's about it. No blue buffs are going to be given over to either mid laner, but I mean, Zohair is already looking a lot better landing now.
The bot lane, yeah, Mom Gang Please did not have it ready yet. He's still only level 5, so Zohair gets King's lands snare going into that. So yeah, this is another game where we talk about that some teams have the scaling of power, but neither team's playing to their win conditions. They draft them, they have an idea, and they do the opposite. So that is an unfortunate death. Didn't lose his flash or anything though, so it's not like they're going to be able to get a free return gank. But as we talk about that in the top lanes, Witchell is starting to go look for his first gank here. They do have him cornered on the turret, but he's taking here, so long. Zohair is here as well. He's going to have to he eats turret aggro as well, so Rosero pops the World Ender, doesn't get the assist, so he's not going to have the resurrection. He's going to get the resurrection now, though. He does get the kill back on the Hubris, so he does trade 1 for 1 in that situation, but that was played so poorly on the side of Witchell.
Witchell, what are you doing, man? He's sitting there. I get it. You're waiting for the wave to push up, but you don't have vision. You don't know where Zohair is. Not only that, You have a repel, my guy. You can dodge the Bellows Breath. You can dodge the Call of the Forge God. You can definitely dodge a lot of these skill shots. And what are you doing? You're just standing there in human form.
Yeah, I think the issue was he was waiting until that wave pushed in. He wanted to go for the cocoon. He got super greedy, won the cocoon first before going into spider form.
He doesn't even doing that though.
But yeah, that's the issue. The moment he saw the Ornn ult come out, he should have went into spider form, got ready to repel into the situation. Or he's not a helicopter, so
he's propelling. Yeah. I mean, he is propelling EOD.
That's true. Yeah, he's propelling them into a gold lead. But actually, things actually are tied right now. So they were. I mean, they were able to get a kill back. Where Sarah was able to pop the world ender and get a kill back and get himself that resurrection safety net. But yeah, definitely not what we want to see. But Rosero bomb plans in, able to save his ward, tries to pull back Hubris. Rubus using stuff to get away from that. It's gonna dash away to safety. But yeah, that's just Rosero's still going to be able to beat up. He does have the Black Cleaver after that. Yep. But in the middle of the mid lane, Zohair lands a beautiful glacial and then gets onto Papa Francesco. It has to burn the flash, not able to get killed. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, we do see Muwa Mage roam down, able to get try to get a kill there, but they actually lose double B in the process. So they actually trade 1 for 1.
Yeah, that was a pretty great job catching out double B. Saw his flash. Zohair now.
Witchel's in a bad spot, but he does have the backup from the Alistar trying to keep him alive. So, yeah, this has been a very interesting start to the game so far. There, pretty much the only thing that's gone normal, as far as we can tell, is Rosero beating Hubris with this matchup at least. But yeah, it's gonna be kind of interesting how both teams.
Even that has been altered, right? I mean, even that's been altered by Zohair and that gank top lane.
Yeah, but we do see the Infernal Drake is just now respawning, so we want to see which will play to this bot side. Either look for to get a gank. He's waiting to bush here, maybe get a pick off when the lane pushes back into them. But yeah, they can't give up an Infernal. For a team that actually wants to focus on scaling and get into the late game, you don't want to give this Infernal over to a Corki and an Ezreal, the champions who have both of those damage shots.
Yeah, be careful. Zohair and them are coming back from base. Kingsland is now going to have priority. Put down the vision. And Muame does have the package right now, so potentially here we go.
Goes in, gets on the palm go, but gets knocked up by and stunned by the freezing gaze. But at the same time, Alistar gets almost taken out, has to flash out of there. Witchel has nowhere to go. It actually has to flash as well. Gets taken down by the Zohair on the Sejuani. But meanwhile, we see Mom getting me back. Papa Francisco's in the backline, ulti in. He gets a double kill on his side. And so now the fight's been turned in favor of a 2 for 1 on their side. So that was a really good ram. Came a little late, unfortunately, but he was able to get something out of it, thankfully.
Yeah, that was a pretty sloppy gank, all things considered. Yes, you are able to get the kill right there, but Muame does not have enough damage. We see that I mean, he doesn't have the Sheen at this point, so he's not able to pump out any kinds of damage at all. And somebody noticed, okay, I thought that was just a random ignite, but Kingsland, he uses the ultimate, the final spark, but doesn't hit anybody. And really a lot of whiffed abilities coming out from EOD should mean that this Infernal Drake goes over for free. They should be able to now push up this mid lane as well, but they're not even starting it. Their bot lane's just going to back with some pretty high mana bars, and they're actually just going to give the dragon over for free. What?
Yeah, they just used the vision clear, so they know Alistar is going base, so there's nothing to stop them or contest them. We do see Witchel, who has got 2 smites in the first game alone, but hopefully this is one good for. He's looking for it, though. He has been poked out. They know he's there, but he is dancing around, and we actually see
coming in,
teleporting in there. Rubus has his TP as well. He's channeling it also, going straight in. So the Dragons at half health so far. Both teams are posturing up here, looking to get some. They're trying to poke each other out a little bit. They are backing off the Infernal Drake, but we have all 5 people from both teams lining up here at this point. So they're looking to get something. They are lining up in the small alleyway there. Rosero tries to get a pullback, doesn't quite get it. But here goes Mom Gank, please. He's lining up as well. Oh, here comes the Ornn Horn. It's ringing. He misses the horn. Knock up at all. Winston gets in there. He gets the smite. He gets the drink. He does die for it, but that leaves. Oh my goodness, what's going on? Hubris goes go and try and find himself as much time as possible, but he's gonna go down, find a palm go, and so we see a bunch of flashes get burned out of the bot lane on the side of Weeb Edition. They go get caught in the grounded, and then we see a bunch of flashes they get knocked up and get a double kill or a single kill for Rosero, another kill for Palm Go, and just like that, a pretty good fight goes in favor of Wyoming. Yeah, that's a Orn missed his Orn horn there. That was not good.
This is a repeat of game 1, dude. Oh no, EOD having a great early game, and it becomes their game to lose. Wyoming. I mean, that was a great job. I will not take any credit away from Palm Goat doing amazing on this Cassiopeia. His spacing is great. The way he's positioning in these fights is doing really, really well. And Rocero's having a pretty great Aatrox game, all things considered. Wasn't able to get the World Ender proc just a little bit too early there. But Kingsland, and specifically this bot lane, is really becoming a huge weakness for EOD. Getting blasted in game 1, really almost disgustingly. Game 2 having a little bit of a better game and mostly getting carried by the side of Hubris. But now we're seeing it again. Cassiopeia with just that much more of a team fight presence. Corki, yes, he's able to get off damage, but he doesn't have his Triforce yet. And already, Papa Francesco is able to do a lot more with that GLP. I'm not going to give anything to Witchell. That was a pretty big mistake from Zohair. They weren't able to get in position to try and force for this dragon. But Witchell getting the dragon there despite being basically an AFK Elise.
Yeah, and a big part of this led off to all that was Hubris pulling in the Orn horn and then just completely missing it. When you completely miss it, there's no zoning. You're not zoning anybody off there. You're not scaring anything. He also went for a knock-up on the trying to stop the smite, but I think he missed the dragon wall as well. So that pick is not working out for him so far. He's down 40 CS. He did get that kill on the Elise misplay at the top, but that's the only thing he's got going for him so far. But as I say that, they are looking to get an ult onto Rosero. He's gonna put the World Ender to get some speed going. He is able to dodge a little bit of the CC, but not very much. He is gonna get taken down by the Sejuani as we were just talking about that. So that's gonna buy a bit of breathing room for Hubris on the side. Still down a good chunk at this point, but yeah, just definitely not what they're wanting right now. But meanwhile, in the mid lane, they do drop the Rift Herald, and that they get another their second turret in favor of Wyoming on this point.
Yeah, I mean, that was a pretty textbook play right there. I'm glad that they're able to catch out the overextension from Rosero. World Ender thankfully being changed to where it's not a free, get out of jail free card. But the kill going over to Zohair, probably not the best. You probably want to give that to Hubris so you can catch up just a little bit. We have to note, in 2 more levels, Hubris will be able to upgrade 2 of his items. And after that, we'll be able to upgrade a free item for each of his teammates with at least 1 level each. So we will see if this game does end up going to that 40-minute mark like we saw in game 1, that the item leads will start to become very important if you are on EOD Weeb Edition. But coming in so far, 17 minutes into the game, and Wyoming is looking pretty good for themselves so far. Rosero going down there is not what you want to see, but between Pongo and I think Papa Francesco for sure, with a much more utility-based pick, something somewhat akin to a Talia almost, you have looking at least a lot better in these team fights.
Yeah, if the game does go long enough, EOD definitely has a chance of scaling into it. They have double marksman, which, as the game gets longer and longer into the game, double marksman almost always wins just because of the sheer amount of damage it can put out, especially or objective control, and also if you do get to a tower with both of them up, they can burn down a tower very quickly. But they are already down almost 3k, a little over 3.5k gold basically at 18 minutes, so that's not where they want to be at, but it's not also unsurmountable. As you talk about the Orn, he's going to start getting these upgraded items here shortly, and when he starts getting those upgraded items, that can make up for that gold difference. Those stats alone, once he gets all of them put out there, I believe it makes up for almost like a 2k gold difference worth of items once Orn gets something on all of his teammates. So it's one of those things where if the game keeps going, it could certainly bounce back out, but yeah, right now it's not looking so good.
Yep. I love this full reset coming out from Wyoming. They're all able to go back, and immediately they're now able to come out back onto the battlefield as one unit. They'll have refreshed wards. They'll be able to move into this jungle. Dragon is respawning. It is a Mountain Drake, so maybe finally. We haven't gotten an Ocean Drake this whole series, which I think is really interesting. But no Ocean Drake, another Mountain Drake here, potentially for University of Wyoming. And Orn doesn't have the TP. It looks like they're going to try and give this up and just try to trade it for a topside turret.
Yeah, they had no interest in fighting that, which is kind of weird. With the double marksman comp, you kind of would want the Mountain Drake, but they are also recognizing that, at this point in the game, They're not able to quite fight. They're not quite at their skilled up point yet. Their tanks aren't quite as tanky as they need to be. The double marksmen, they don't have their items quite yet that they need as well. We do see Witchell go for a flash, but oh my goodness, it was too slow to get there. So Witchell ends up dying to the Lux at that point. Actually, it does get finished off by Double B on the Ezreal. So flash for flash, and man, if Papa would have been just a bit closer to get that charm off, but just was a bit out of range, he had to try and jump forward and then use a charm, which bought Ezreal just enough time to eat out to safety. So that's the kind of stuff we're talking about. Like, you know, if that kind of stuff continues to be an issue, this is gonna let them scale into the late game. Like, actually, Zohair is pretty massive. Already has his Warmogs on top of the Cinderhulk jungle item. Once he starts getting some actual defense stats on it, like if he goes for a Gargoyle Storm play at this point, he might be unkillable in these team fights.
Yeah, I am a little bit worried right now because Pomgo blows heal in that fight. We see the Spirit Rush as well, which I don't know what Witchell was doing, but Witchell goes down, blows the flash as well. So a little bit worrying. You do get the dragon, and you did just trade this top side, but they need to start sieging because right now it is 1-2 in terms of turrets. Wyoming looking to have that advantage, but top side is still really, really strong. You could take that, start setting up your Baron because you have a Cassiopeia, you have an Elise, stuff that is really, really strong when it comes to taking Barons. Potentially start to set them up in terms of success. Just drop Rosero into this side lane. No, not 4 people need to be in mid lane farming. Rosero is just a disgusting side lane threat right now. 20 CS up over Ornn, and yes, he does have the Black Cleaver.
Oh, they're going for it.
They're just gonna go for it.
There's no vision. They have the control ward on there. They do see vision plant as well, but that should alert Ornn that they are looking the area. But yeah, Elise is even here as well, so they don't see the jungle here. This is gonna be a free dragon at 21 minutes.
Yeah,
the Cassiopeia is able to burn it down. Yeah,
just like
that.
They saw Elise.
Wow, that was a very bold call, but they knew they had the safety. They knew that EOD was getting ready to base or didn't want to fight anymore. They just had some vision. They just go for the call. So this is going to buy them a lot of extra time around here at this point. They're going to be able to push in the top lane turret as well. So kind of get themselves that little extra bit of gold. And this also just makes sure that the double marksman can't get their hands on it early to stall for more time. So that's definitely a very good play on the side of Wyoming.
No, that was absolutely genius. I think that was a very good play for them. Wyoming, they not only send Witchell to go topside, it shows that the jungler is there. This lures EOD into a false sense of security, saying, hey, I mean, the jungler is there. They shouldn't be doing Baron. Yes, EOD is coming back from a base right there, and they have Papa Francesco and Mom Gank, please, sitting in mid lane. So that was an absolutely beautiful call. I love the way that they set that up, and they're able to immediately capitalize on it. So I mean, applause to Wyoming. I mean, yes, they've been making mistakes, but that was a really beautiful call.
Yeah, definitely very bold, which is one thing you need in this kind of situation. They've known that, like, you know, they barely should have won the first game, but they did. They got kind of smashed in the second game, so they know they can't just sit back and let the same thing happen for our third game, and they can't rely on Witchell smite seals. So they just like, we're gonna put ourselves in a situation where there's no smites involved. He's not allowed in the Baron pit. The other jungler's not here. We're okay to take the Baron. So that's what they do, and they're looking to get some more objectives at this.
I gotta give respect where respect is due, man. I mean, that was a great play. It was a great call. Now they're looking to siege into bot lane. Top lane, I would wish that they kind of set up their waves a little bit better. Top lane isn't pushing in favor of EOD. Looks like they're gonna try and fight.
Oh, he gets snared out. He's not gonna get picked off by the Witchell. So I'm getting ready to group up here without big Roseros, but they there. Oh, but they get a kill back, and Fresco's go down too. That's 2 of them dying with the Baron, and then we see Mob Gang play. They flash onto the back line, and Bomb Goat's gonna go down as well. And Zohair, he's so tanky. Mob Gang plays is gonna get all the team with the Baron is gonna get aced again.
All right, and now we're just gonna see the TP into mid lane. Rosero is just gonna get chased out.
There. Oh, he's gonna get away. Oh, he's not. The team with the Baron gets aced again. The Baron is a curse for teams in this series. Just don't pick it up anymore. You will die every single time. They're now losing a turret in the mid lane. They're going to lose a second turret. So all that gold they had just accrued with that Baron, they lost. They had a 4K gold lead, and just like that, we're dead even at 23 minutes.
I mean, I have no words. I have no words for this. You have a great lead. They completely squander it. To be noted, Magic Resist is going to tear this team apart when it comes to EOD. You look at how much of this is magic damage. You have Witchell, you have Papa Francesco, you have Pomgo all doing magical damage and being able to build. We take a look at Hubris, take a look at Zohara. Tanks like these thrive so much on being able to build a lot of health and a lot of resistances, especially when you have Spectre's Cowl, Merc Treads, and the Nullifying Orb, or sorry, the Null Magic Mantle. Absolutely beautiful. And now the Hex Drinker as well. Looks like they're just going to give over this Mountain Drake, but that was a huge overextension from Wyoming. And the Baron, I mean, I feel like the theme for this entire series is one step forward, one step back. It always feels like the one team makes a great play and then they just completely throw it out the window within the next 5 minutes afterwards.
Yeah, there's some weird calls going. Like, it's okay to set up in the bot lane like that, but why was Zero there so far ahead of Hubris in the 1v1 that there was no reason for him to be down there? He could have been pressuring his side lane, and that was it. They could have pulled someone away, and that they would have won the 4v4 at that point, most likely. But yeah, they let Hubris eat all the damage. Hubris is just a giant sponge right now. It's okay for him to be behind. If he's got a team fight and he's able to soak up everything, and they're able to turn around and get an ace like that, I think that EOD will take that trade every single time, because he's now level 14. He's now able to start upgrading stuff for his teammates. He has double upgrade on his items. So that gold lead that was accrued early on by Rosero, that's almost negated now by his bonus, just by Ornn existing in the game. He's actually ahead in CS also. So actually, they're actually pretty much dead, even as far as teams go as well. So this is going to, that one play just kind of completely reset this game. Both teams just need to decide what they want to do next and reset at this point.
Okay, that was weird. Sorry, I just got a hiccup in the game. All right, just want to make sure.
Don't worry, guys. There was a brief pause there, but we're back as normal there. Apologize for the technical difficulties. We're blaming that one on Riot. So don't
not
blame
the
us.
first time I've blamed Riot this series.
Yeah,
so
I blame my matchmaking. I also blame my matchmaking, my solo, my rank. I blame it. So, but yeah, we are going to be back in the game now at this point. You know, both teams just kind of poshing around. There's not really much to do right now. The Baron is getting to spawn back up here in the next 50 seconds or so at this point. So this is the second Baron, though, by the way. So, you know, the Baron, as it gets killed, does scale in power in later the game. So since the first one went down so early, the second Baron means a lot more this time around, especially if the fact that if Wyoming can get a second one, and if they can actually do something with it, it could be huge for them. But they don't get it.
Moame has the upgraded Molten Edge. So he's got the Infinity Edge for free upgraded. Wasn't the Triforce this time. Looks like they're just trying to bait out this Baron, potentially. Zohara going over. Oh, miss everything.
But as we talk about the items, like look at both Edgel and Corki have the Hex Drinker as well. Right now, I was getting ready to go, wondering why Corki didn't have a crit item yet, but I realized that's more all that mag resistant. As you were talking about, like Aatrox is the only AD threat, and while he does have a good bit of damage, it's not continuous. So if he's not able to constantly get onto someone, that Black Cleaver and the Armor Shred and the physical damage not going to do very much. So Hubris, he took that charm with it, which the charm gives bonus damage. And he still didn't take any damage. Oh, he gets the Ornhorn hop on it and gets blown up on the... Oh, he doesn't quite die yet. He's still alive. Pomgo finally just go down a little bit late there. Muame in the back is taken down by the Elise. But meanwhile, that's going to be a 2 kills over in favor of EOD. We're going to chase him out there. Francesco barely gets out alive there. So it is going to be two people die on the side of Wyoming for a favor of 1. Muame went a little bit deep there with the package, but that also means that we still have an edge roll, like an AD carry up along with the Baron. But double TP is coming back in there. We're going to have a 4v4.
Ezreal has no flash here.
Yeah, they're going to have to keep dodging damage, and Rosero's ready to go back in. They just need to break out this Baron. Don't do it. Don't do it with Shell. We see what Witchell can do this game. Witchell will take this Baron from you if you keep doing it. Okay, they're smart enough to back off. They're not going to do it. They're just like, you know what? We've seen what Witchell does with the smites when we want objectives. We're just backing out of there. So it does end up just being the 1 kill for 2 at that point. So they're going to back off at that point, try and get some vision control as well. Oh my goodness! So King's Lane has to burn the flash. Almost gets deleted by Papa Francesco. So that's the kind of damage that the Ahri can do to a very squishy support like that. But meanwhile, as that's going on, also Zohair gets caught out. But he is so tanky. He ate that whole combo. He's only at half health from getting hit by 2 different people. But that does mean all 5 champions are set up around the Baron at this point. Zohair's going to have to go back to base. Actually, he's not going to have to. He has the Warmogs. I forgot about that. So he's just going to set back up here, regen his health real quick. And both teams are going to continue to posture around the Baron, and while the Dragon's getting ready to respawn as well. And it is another Infernal.
Yeah, and that last team fight, we saw Double B go for a flash. Not to dodge any kind of abilities, but just a flash. Then he arcane shifts forward. So that was a pretty hectic team fight, I will say. The package is what ends up burning down Pomgo in the end, and the Baron takes so long there that they end up Pomgo actually ends up respawning, so they end up backing out like we saw, 9-14, and we're seeing 3 item power spikes start to come in for Wyoming. Does end up getting the scuttle there, but this should be the Dragon going over to EOD. No one's in topside. Mid-wave is absent at this point. It looks like both teams are just waiting. I love this positioning from Zohair. Oh, okay.
Look at that Corki damage. He just gets a Q and an auto off, and then some armor shred or some of the Gatling gun. Oh, he gets up and gets blown up. Oh, he gets out alive. That Hex Drinker came in huge and kept him a big shield to keep him alive. So no one is killed yet, but that means the jungle has to go back versus the mid laner. So that means the smite's the Zohair goes over. Ultimate kills a 1v1 at that point. So that means the Dragon is gonna be free. Did have to use the flash, but he doesn't have his smite either actually at this point. But you know, they don't know that.
Yeah, this should just be the Dragon going over. That was a disgusting amount of damage coming out from, I mean, Zohair is just really just this Elise was not in the game to begin with, and now we're just seeing more and more just fading out of relevancy. Elise is just completely fallen off the cliff, not even finishing an item at this point. You have the needlessly large rod as well as the Oblivion Orb, but you gotta pick one. You got a lot of AP. Yes, you might be able to go for the Spellbinder. Finish the item. The active is really important. You want to go for the Merilonomicon? Fine, go for it, but finish the item. There's a lot of times where items are very important based on components. We can take a look at Aatrox typically building a Kindle Gem and then into Warfields and not really finishing at him. That's fine. Stuff like this, especially on an Elise who's behind, you gotta finish something.
Yeah, and the main excuse people will go with the Oblivion Orb is that it does have the same amount of magic pen as Oblivion Orb as it would at the The needlessly rod, the bonus AP is not doing anything for you at least. You are not higher damage at this point. You are literally just a walking snare at this point, and like you're the smite and you're the cocoon. That's all that you're bringing to the table right now. Don't build full AP at that point. You're not breaking through that magic resist no matter how much AP you build.
You can't go tank at this point. I mean,
yeah,
you just gotta go fully for it. But the problem is that Wishel's just not able to do anything, especially Moame. Look at, again, the amount of magic resist. Yes, Double B has his Iceborne Gauntlet, but the Hex Drinker for both Moame and Double B makes it very tough for him to be able to do anything. I would like to see a lot more spell penetration or magic penetration from Witchell if he's going to go for this build. Try to at least maybe abuse the fact that there's not a lot yet. But take a look. Zohair and Hubris sitting on Abyssal Mask. Negatron Cloak, Abyssal Mask as well.
They're going for the Baron. They're doing a lot of damage to it. They have a lot of damage to offer to it. There's already halfway down, but it's coming in here. Papa's trying to get us there. Oh my goodness, the damage is so huge out of Corki. It's ridiculous. There's one ult and auto. Ornhorn coming in. They missed us at one ult, but they're gonna. Oh, they got the World Enders popped up, and they're gonna tear to the beautiful 4-man pulverize in the backline, but there's nothing to follow up on it. Orn is gonna almost go down, just go down, which means the World Ender is gonna reset. That means Rosero's going huge. He's going 1v4. The rest of his team is walking away, though. He's alone. He's gonna try to resurrect and gets taken down there at the end. They do stop the Baron. Meanwhile, Muwame does get a kill back, but does just kind of dive in and die 1v1 at that point. But it does mean it is going to be a 2-for-2 at that point. So very much a move. Oh, actually, it's going to turn into a 3-for-2 because oh my goodness, Kingsland walked back in, got snared up, which actually going to lead to the jungle dying as well. Oh, Zohair's trying to heal up. Not quite though. So that does turn actually to be 4 kills. for the favor of Wyoming at that point. They can't really follow up anything with that, but it is gonna be a nice little bit of goal. Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh, those reflexes. That was a fast golden on his side. That was almost a double kill for double B, but they do deny it from him. He doesn't get anything out of that, but kind of a moot point across the board. A bunch of kills, some extra goal going around for everybody, but we are still dead even at 34 minutes.
That was a very close fight, and I would have loved to have seen EOD just finish the Baron. You have Sejuani with your permafrost able to do a hell of a lot of damage, and Muame is 1v3ing at this point. We see Pomgo, Francesco, and Witchell all being warded off by the fact that Muame is sitting there with package and forcing off Pomgo. I mean, Pomgo gets put down to 50% HP at that point. Sejuani is in base. They're starting the Baron. Wyoming.
Oh, Orange got the flanks. O'Hare's not here yet though, but Orange got the flank. Is down. The Baron's at 130 HP. The Orange coming through. They don't have nothing to Oh, Corky goes down. The Elise is about down. Okay, the Winchell does secure the Baron for them this time, and there's also no Corky. He got burned down by the Ari, and also Hubert's gonna get caught out, gets knocked up, and he's gonna get killed as well. So this time this is the second Baron going over to Wyoming. Also, they got nothing to stop them from pushing currently.
Why? Everything, it's always a why question for me at this point, and now we see the Baron is available. They've taken it already. They're using the redemption, I think, very smartly to heal up some of these minions. They don't have a wave here. I'd like to see at least one person back up and take it, but they're just going to go for this tier 2, potentially fight for this. Zohair is just going to back out. Tier 2 turret going down. Baron, this is a cannon wave as well, could look to start sieging, but Wyoming looking pretty strong. That flank from Hubris was not enough. Muame as well going down. Double B, not, this is again, the bot lane needs to show up. You've had 35 minutes to play the game. You need to start playing now if you were gonna be on the Zez.
Yep, and that unhip is going to go down. They're not able to get anything quite picked back, and they do a lot of damage, but they're just not able to pop people off of it, so they are going to lose that Baron. But meanwhile, on the bottom, they are still chasing. There's no teleport out of Hubris, though. They're still chasing, though. They're not going to give this up. Meanwhile, Hubris is just walking to the mid lane. He should be walking to the door, but they do get the flash onto Pomgo and take him down, so they are going to get killed back. They're going to start teleporting to the bot lane. That is going to be... They'll be going down there. Oh, he's teleporting down there. He's heading straight over to that Elder Drake. They're just like, you know what? We didn't get the Baron, but we can't get this Elder still. We have 2 marksmen. They can get that down so fast.
Yeah, this should be a free objective for them. There's no Palm Goat, one of the huge influencers into where how these fights end up. And while it isn't, they do have double dragons. They'll have an Infernal that is empowered, as well as a Cloud Drake here. You shouldn't be able to get over this wall. Free Infernal Drake here for the side, Elder Drake over to the side of EOD. Now we need to see them actually use it. And I think Mwamne becomes a huge benefactor of this, being able to do so much poke damage, and that burn from the Elder Drake will become very influential to how these team fights end up. But with top side constantly being pushed in, they need to look to where are they going to use this Baron, because they have a lot of them, 4 members sitting with the Baron, and they're just farming top side jungle. Elise is going to end up going bot lane, utilizing it, but now they need to spend at least some time, if you are EOD, to clear out this top lane.
Yeah, so it's going to kind of lead into a stalemate at this point. It is only a 1k gold lead going on at 37 minutes, and that is really pretty much nothing at this point. They're just going to let Hubris go up there, clear the top, and continue to get this level so he can continue to level up the items on his teammates. Actually, could give out another item at this point, level 16. He should have one more item to give out. He could probably give that to the Zohair, give him even more beefy on his front line, or even give it to support, give him some little more extra AP on some of one. Actually, I don't think Lux has any items that can be upgraded yet. But yeah, I don't think Athene's can be upgraded.
Not yet, no.
So yeah, but there's something they can give to Warbox. They could give Zohair even more HP. But yeah, it's just leading into a stalemate at this point. But as we kind of talked about earlier, while the gold is dead even, those extra stats do kind of count as invisible gold that we can't see at this point.
That's 1,000 gold each for each of them. Both literally when you used to have to buy the items, and even if you take a look at gold conversion for stats or whatever, it is around 1,000 gold worth of stats. So taking a look, I mean, they've got about 4,000 extra gold in them in their items.
And 4,000 is bigger than 1,000. I learned that in math. So I'm gonna say I think that does favor EOD, but we've seen that even though things favor teams in these games, the team that has the favorable matchup not actually doing anything with their lead at the moment.
We've
But I
seen
think
him
right
in
now,
this game twice.
yeah, I think EOD is happy though. Right now, they got the Elder Drake, so they're just sitting on that burning 2 damage. They're just kind of waiting around, making sure stalling out, trying to wait for that inhibitor to come back top lane, so they don't have to deal with that pressure, so they can return to their beefy frontline team fighting that they're looking for.
Yeah, for sure. And now, with no objectives on the board, this was mostly a wasted Baron, all things considered. No one really is able to do anything with it. The Elder Drake as well, kind of ticking away, most likely more of a, hey, we're going to take it away
down
from
mid.
you.
Look at they're just running down mid.
2 bases.
Like, yeah, they're just now basing. Yeah, they don't like. Yeah, they're not gonna be back here.
Their bases got stopped with the Ezreal, so this should be at least a free inhibitor. You have an Ezreal.
Oh my goodness, they might get an inhibitor just off a macro. That is beautiful. I mean, it looks like Mom Game pleases look. Okay, they are able to. The inhibitor only goes down halfway, and these do still have that pressure. The double minions, 2 supers going to the top lane. So, but man, something like that is almost a huge slip up on the side of Wyoming.
Yeah, for sure. And top lane now, there's a lot of. Why is alright, Hubris, I'm pretty sure, has used this spell book just to have the summoners and not to actually use them. The Ignite, the Barrier, the Cleanse now haven't really been used at all. Again, I think Grasp potentially is a better one, or even Aftershock, but they have to back. There are huge mini waves crashing into topside turret. Baron up in the next minute now. Potentially with University of Wyoming, they do have some of this priority when it comes to where they are on the map. They should be able to take this tier 2 turret in mid lane for free now. And now we have to watch with no inhibitor down in mid lane. Oh my god, Winchell.
The Corki damage is huge. There's nothing to stop him from, like, this. There's no front line. Well, I mean, there is the Alistar couldn't really do anything in that situation. But as we talk about that, that means the Elise has gone down. There's only 10 seconds left on the Baron respawning, and there's the inhib is respawned in the top lane. Under fighting in the bot lane, we see Alistar get knocked up by the Orn Horn. Zohair down, knocked up as well. Gets knocked up a little bit. So now there's no Alistar, there's no front line. That's all 5 alive. Are they gonna go for the mid lane, or are they gonna go for Baron? They're indecisive. They're pinging for both, but they're gonna go down for mid. There's nothing to stop them at this point. They do force the flash out of Rosero. He's gonna pop the World Ender as well, try and keep himself, get that move speed, get it out of there. Hubris goes really big with the Gargoyle at some point. They are gonna take the inhib. They are gonna cleanse the charm on the Corki.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness, so much damage going on both sides here, but they are gonna get the inhib and back out here. Are they gonna go for the inhib? They are kind of low at this point, and Witchell is respawn. Oh, but Zohair's recharging back up with that Warmock. They're going straight for the Barons. It's going to be 4v5. There's no chance for Alistar to get back here in time right away unless they're able to drag this fight out a long time. But they're recalling on wards, so at this point they're not opting for the Baron. They're just going to take their inhibitor pressure, go base with it, and try and get back out of the field in time.
It's pretty risky for them. But why is Papa Francesco TPing? You know that there's no, unless they're just going to go for this. He does have Spirit Rush.
Oh, Rosero. You are
Take
deep,
the
and you don't have the
cone.
World Ender. He is gonna stunned up. He's gonna go down. He tries to get a dunk. Gets locked up so much. Your horn comes down. You're gonna get the knock up on the tour. The package comes across as well. It's huge. They're gonna come back down. Palm. Witch is gonna go down as well. There's gonna be a free Baron. That's 3 for free. Actually, the back side, though, Power is trying to go big. He's going to pick up the edge roll. He does get taken out of the AD carry, but that does leave 4 members up below. They're pinging the mid lane. They have a super minion. They're just running down mid. They're like, we are done with this game. We got ended, guys.
Oh my god, Wyoming just completely lose their minds. They're overextending. I'm pretty sure Papa Francesco doesn't know what a blast cone does.
Oh, he's going big. He's got the knock up. He's trying to slow them down with punch pump, but the kill timers are just too long. There's nothing left to stand in the way. EOD struggled a little bit in the first game, struggled a bit in the second game, but they are going to finish out the series 2-1 to advance to the Dominate Premade semifinals.
42 minutes, almost 43 here. And they really had to work for that one. EOD. I mean, Muame having a great early game on this Corki. Zohair actually being a jungler with Witchell being AFK. Just so many things were wrong with that game. So many things were wrong with the series. I think it was very sloppy. I'm glad to see that these teams are able to get it out now. And this was a really big letdown, all things considered, for University of Wyoming. These guys come 9-1. They win the back half of the split after the bye. They only lose 1 game in the entire season. We even see EOD Weeb Edition 7-3, coming off of a 4-win streak, still looking really strong. But then we have this series where it's absolutely back and forth, not even a change in format, not going to a best of 5, still best of 3 as if it was a regular season, and just having a completely knockdown, drag-out fight in every single game. Second game was very much EOD favored and was an EOD loss in game 1. And now we see in game 3, Wyoming just completely lose their minds as the pressure mounts. And I mean, while Rosero was able to get them the lead, his death just went into chain feed. It just felt like Rosero went in, he died, then Papa Francesco said, all right, I'm up next, right, coach? And then he dies, and then Palm Goat gets caught out because doesn't have flash. It is not able to get away from the Corki, who is just completely decimating the back line. So EOD, I congratulate you for the win. It was a great series coming out from you, but not what you want to see, especially going into semifinals. Hopefully they're able to clean up a lot of this, especially draft.
Yeah, things got really wonky there. But Kyle, we were praising EOD for in the previous game or the first game. They had the right decisions. They just didn't execute, and that cost them the first game. They kind of actually EOD probably could have 2-0'd this, and game 3 kind of got a little sloppy as well. But they didn't tilt. That's the important part. They had a bunch of situations where they could have won. They threw it, but they didn't give up. They kept playing, and they just pushed through, and they were able to win the game that way. If I had to pick an MVP, my goodness, there were some clown fiesta plays all over the place. But I think Zohair was a consistent player in all 3 games. Like, if I remember correctly, Muame did a really good job as well. He's really consistent. Palm Goat played so hard on the side of Wyoming. He tried so hard.
This man was trying to carry this team. I feel really bad for Palm Goat, really.
My man's 1v9 out here. But
the bot lane was good. The bot lane for Wyoming was, I would, very few criticisms other than maybe certain positioning, but otherwise, I think it was a perfectly decent bot lane. Like you were saying, Zohair having a pretty decent series, all things considered. I don't think game 1, Game 1 still leaves like a searing image in my brain. If anything, I would love to give this to Hubris, all things considered. Top side, he's able to get the 2v2, the 1v2, constantly performing on the Silas. Yes, they end up losing that game and really kind of fell off a little bit thanks to the Aatrox. But I mean, even in game 2, just completely dominating and shoving Rosero into the corner. And then this game, yes, he does lose, but something to note, kind of like this bot lane, being able to lose gracefully, not able to just completely get blown out. Yes, he does lose his turret. Yes, he does go down a little bit early, but really just showing up when his team needs them. And I think those Ornhorns were pretty influential for the most part.
Yeah, it was one thing we talked about. He did lose gracefully. He didn't lose a lot early on. Was able to get a kill back also during the turret dive, even though the turret dive was kind of NA style. But he did the like that, so that worked out pretty well. So congratulations to EOD. They are going to advance to the Dominate Premade semifinals. I'm not quite sure who their opponent is at the top of my head here, or actually I'm not sure if they've been played yet or not. But they've done it. They're moved on to the semi-finals, so they only have one step away to possibly reach the finals. So that will wrap up the evening, though. Congratulations one more time to EOD. I was casting my name is Josie. I was joined today by Alka Battery. Our streamer today was Daddy Zillion. We greatly appreciate him. Otherwise, thank you guys, everybody, for watching, and you have a great evening.